Good evening, everyone. I am glad to see you all here for, the once a month bullshit that I pull where I binge a series in like the last 3 days of when I'm required to watch it and barely hang on to my sanity because I'm either binging alcohol to make it through or I'm sleep deprived because someone's overworking me. Either way, I am Crimson Law, as you would all know, the one and only professional reptile, Lord of the Goons, and the host of this insanity. And I'm not the only person here tonight. I am joined, of course, by, first and foremost, we have the, the Lord of Late himself and reptile enthusiast. If you leave a cheesesteak out on the eve of 420, you may just get a joint out of it yourself. Rollo, how you doing?
How you doing, guys? Nice to see you again.
Next up, we have the man of many exceptions himself, the 33rd degree goth girl simp, and the totally not gay communist. How you doing, Roman?
Hello, friends. How are you?
Glasses on glasses.
Okay. Next, we have our resident MILF hunter and fossil for the group. And the ladies call him Subway because he will definitely give them all 5.5 inches of subprime meat. How you doing, Muffler Kate?
Cheers.
Did you write these down?
Yes, I did.
That's good. I
totally did. And last but not least, we are joined by the Emperor of the Gronks himself, the King of Emus and Kangaroos and the Blunder from Down Under. Lethal Lightning, how you doing?
I want Misato to spit on me and tell me I'm trash.
Yeah.
I'll respect it. I'll
Oh,
respect
you and Roman are gonna.
My man. Yes, sir. Yes,
it.
sir.
Oh God, we've got 2 of them now.
Oh God! Now there are 2 of them.
This is getting out of hand. There are 2 of them now. All right, so we got everyone here, and I have alcohol. This is a mistake.
As do I. Every time they say a certain phrase, I have to drink. I'm not saying it yet, Muffler. I have to see.
Okay.
Okay. But there is one thing I do want to start with for those of you who may be like viewing this and like looking at it like hey, let's see what Evangelion is about. I have a specific thing to share with the group tonight. We are going to have none other than Alex Jones himself explain what Evangelion is all about.
Rolando, bro. Oh my God, Alex Jones, yes.
Okay, this is one of my favorite memes that came out of Evangelion. Is just
war trying to basically destroy humanity because humanity has free will and there's a decision to which level we want to go to. We have free will, so evil's allowed to come and contend and not just good. And the elites themselves believe they're racing using human technology to try to take our best minds and build some type of breakaway civilization where they're going to merge with machines, transcend, and break away from the failed species that is man, which is kind of like a false transmission because they're thinking what they are is ugly and bad, projecting it onto themselves instead of believing, no, it's a human test about building us up. And so Google was set up 18, 19 years ago. I knew about this before it was declassified. I'm just saying I have good sources, that they wanted to build a giant artificial system. And Google believes that the first artificial intelligence will be a supercomputer based on the neuron activities of the hive mind of humanity with billions of people wired into it with the Internet of Things. And so all of our thoughts go into it, and we're actually building a computer that has real neurons in real time.
Okay.
Psychically connected to us that are organic creatures so that they will have current prediction powers, future prediction powers, a true crystal ball. But the big secret is once you have a crystal ball and know the future, you can add stimuli beforehand and make decisions that control the future. And so then it's the end of consciousness and free will for individuals, as we know, and a true 2.0 in a very bad way, hive mind consciousness with an AI jacked into everyone, knowing our hopes and dreams, delivering it to us, not in some 3D wirehead system where we plug in and give up on consciousness because of unlimited pleasure, but because we were already wired in and absorbed before we knew it by giving over our consciousness to this system by our daily decisions that it was able to manipulate and control into a larger system. There's now a human counterstrike taking place to shut this off before it gets fully into place and to block these systems and to try to have an actual debate about where humanity goes and cut off the pedophiles and psychic vampires that are control of this AI system before humanity's destroyed.
The fact that Ikari showed up on that was great.
Yo,
at the end.
real quick. The frogs were gay. No, just not wrong about that. But
I mean, the dude's a mixed bag. Okay.
The frogs were gay though.
Either
Pretty
way,
accurate description of the show.
No, it is.
it was. That's why I had to play it. And how many of you guys had actually like seen that meme
I
before?
have seen that before, but I've never watched.
I haven't
the show,
actually.
and now I have context, right?
Yeah.
So now it's great. So I've seen that. I've also seen him describe Star Wars, which I think
They do a lot of stuff. There's one for like 40K lore, but
It's the best one. The 40K
that's
one.
the
That's
best
the
one.
best one.
Alex
they like
Jones
photoshopped Joe
described
Rogan into like one of
Warhammer?
the Marine guys or something.
Yeah, Alex Jones is kind of based.
Be careful.
No questioners. I see you said hi back.
So yeah, let's to chat really quick. Hello to Taco Rolando A. Ramirez. Nice to see you here.
Taco rolling.
Yeah, well, that's what he is. He's
Hey,
Taco.
it's Mexican
Yeah.
me. We know
Mhm.
that. This is
That's the joke. And the questioners, I know you're just here because you hate Evangelion, and I told you I was going to be doing this stream. So,
great.
So I mean, basically, to start, it's just going to be the whole like forum thing of going through and talking about specific points and everything that we wanted to hit for this. And I assume that since there are a lot of Misato Sims in here, we're going to spend a lot of time on Misato.
Mostly.
That's the idea.
Either way, I guess we should
That's the
start
only
with
reason that I came here tonight.
I don't think I'll need much time, honestly.
Yeah, Lethal,
uh,
what time is it for you, real quick, before we start?
No, I mean I'll come quickly because I love her that much.
No, I knew that, obviously.
My man.
It's got to be like the next day for you, or really late.
It's 9:10 in the morning, 28th.
Damn.
nice.
Damn. Okay. All right.
All right. So I guess I'll get started with my impressions of this show because this is my first time watching it. And like I said, I binged most of it like close to the deadline for this. And it was still good. I mean, it's still good. It was good. It was a good show. I thought it was very well animated. The story was at times a little dodgy, and I think some of the things that are done in 2.0 from what I've seen are a little bit better. But at the same time, it also did certain elements better than, or not 2.0, Rebuild. And there are things in the original that I just like more. Particularly, you see a lot more of like Shinji's interactions with his two male friends from school. You don't see a whole lot of that in the Rebuild series. They don't build up to that like first confrontation in school very well. But Rebuild does some other things, like it does focus a little bit more on, like, give some more personality to the characters of like Asuka and Rei and some of the other ones that are in there. We do see a little bit more of them. Either way, I enjoyed the show of this. A lot of like the biblical symbolism in it was interesting for me to see. There are a lot of references to things in there, but I don't, if it's trying to be an interpretation of the Bible or of particularly Revelations, I don't think it's a very good interpretation of that, but it's an attempt and it does play with the lore a little bit. So therefore I find it interesting. I didn't really understand the Shinji hate going through this show up until like the very end of Evangelion. Like, obviously, like the dude's a fucking pussy the whole way through. He whines a ton, but I can deal with that. And there are times where he's just out of control, but there were also a lot of times where bro actually got shit done. And then end of Evangelion comes around and dude's just like, I'm sad, let's turn everyone to goo. And I was just like, now that song that they play there can only incite feelings of rage in me as I sit here thinking, I want to strangle you, you little shit. I want to wrap my hands around your 14-year-old fucking neck and exert pressure until you stop moving and your eyes roll in the back of your head in Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
I
didn't
think
take you for
it's only
Homer Simpson.
natural. I think it's only natural to have the resident Shinji hater Roman, at least that I know of. I don't know how much everybody else hates him. I think Roman should respond.
But basically, in all of this, I thought it was a really good show. I enjoyed a lot of the animation for like the combat and stuff. The older stuff is all, generally all hand drawn and stuff like that. So it looked really, really good. Sounded great. The soundtrack was awesome. I had Fly Me to the Moon stuck in my head for the last week or so. And then of course the meme about the intro for Evangelion where it's like the beginning of Evangelion is just like a Catholic choir, and then it cuts to like the rest of the song, just Jesus breakdancing. So I thought the storytelling was pretty good. There are points where I feel like they probably could have done better with certain things or been a little bit more coherent. And that's why I do like some of the remake stuff, the rebuilds, because I feel like it does a little bit better job of being coherent. But like I said, there's some give and take there. I think they're overall pretty good remakes, but you still should watch the original before you start anything. And I guess we'll just move it on down the line to anyone else who wants to take up the torch.
May I please talk?
I'll let Roman go first, I guess.
Go ahead.
All right. So, firstly, I just want to say that this was my first mecha anime, and I thought that it was like really, really cool. What struck me at first, and Roland pointed this out when we started watching it, was that this show probably inspired a lot of like stuff that like came after it, whether it be like the prequels or the Lord of the Rings movies or just like things like that. Like it and dude, the designs of the angels and the designs of like the Avas, like they're so cool. I don't think that there was one angel design, and y'all can feel free to disagree, but there wasn't one, at least for me, that missed. Okay. And most of the characters, in fact, okay, I would say that all of the characters, even that little shit Shinji, is very, very well written. Like they are actually like well written characters. And so I actually think that in terms of an anime, this has climbed into my top 3, and it actually might have not, like, I don't know if it's knocks down Dragon Ball, but it's like tying with Dragon Ball, and y'all know how much I love Dragon Ball. And also the intro is sick. I love it, right? But my biggest gripe, the only reason that this show is not a 10 out of 10 perfection is because of Shinji. Because, dare I say, that Shinji, at least to me, is worse than Eren Yeager. He is worse than Light Yagami. He's worse than Obito, okay? He might be the most insufferable character that I've seen in anime
People like
so
Obito.
far.
You haven't watched Rent a Girlfriend, clearly.
I was gonna say people like Obito, like as a character, like unironically.
If you're talking about, I get what you're saying with like their motivations. Like Light Yagami, his whole thing was basically he wanted to be a god. He's a narcissist. Eren Yeager, he's a fucking dumbass. Shinji literally just says
Yagami stan.
Yeah, no, I know he likes Light Yagami.
Yeah,
I got a video in the works on Light Yagami and the absolute character assassination in that script.
Light's base.
But I get what you're saying, like with the motivations. I do agree. Like at the end, Shinji's motivation for what he does is fucked up. Like there's no excusing that. Like in that timeline,
after all that they had been building up to. After all that they had been building up to, that's how, like, after everything, he just decides to end it after all that they had, like, survived through. And I said to Roland and to Muffler, I I said to Roland and Muffler, and Roland said that it's more complicated. Sure, but bro ended the world because he couldn't get laid. Okay, like let's just be honest here. A big part of it was that he was sad that he couldn't get cooch. Okay, like
I think I actually will argue on that
I
interpretation.
would too.
I think it's more so the fact that everyone he had any sort of connection with just died in front of him.
it doesn't justify doing what he did though.
No, it doesn't. That's not what I'm not saying it justifies him deciding to turn humanity into goo. I'm saying that it's not just the fact that he didn't get laid. It's the fact that he spent his whole life, avoiding people and basically not getting close to anyone because the whole theme of it is basically he hates himself and he doesn't feel like he's worthy of anything. And then you get to the point where he finally has some connections with people, even though Asuka can be a bit of a bitch. He still sees her as a friend and a fellow pilot. He goes out of his way to try and help Rei and make some sort of friendship there. Misato is basically the parent who actually cares about him for once in his fucking life. And all of them are basically gone. I mean, Rei gets fused into one of the angels. Asuka is we can assume she's dead at this point because the Eva got ripped to pieces. Misato is definitely dead.
Yeah,
bro's an emotional 14-year-old kid who's basically been used as a child soldier and abused by everyone around him.
Okay, I understand that, but it doesn't make what he does right. Okay?
No, that's why I fucking despise him at the end of the series. His whole decision there,
bro. He doesn't do it. He's like Misato's got to drag his ass for the last couple scenes in the movie, and then
are we only talking about the series, not End of Evangelion?
No,
we're talking about all of it. We're talking about End of Evangelion.
Well,
we're talking
yeah.
about the series
too, as well. Yeah, no, that's totally in the.
Who wants to go next?
So.
Muffler, you
Sure,
go.
Darky Dark and
Sure,
Marcel.
yeah, I can. Yeah, I was really excited whenever we got a chance to watch this month, and
Still fucked Marcel.
Yeah, no, that was a horrible scene.
Oh my
but
god,
anyway.
dude! I literally looked at Roman and I said, "The fuck did he? What is on his hand? The fuck just happened, bro?" What?
Yeah,
humanity isn't the only goo in this movie.
There's so the special goo and everything now.
Anyway, so I had forgotten how much I hated certain parts of this series. And I absolutely love it. It's one of my all-time favorites too. I've watched it probably about 3 or 4 times. And this last time I had a really good time watching it with the guys. They hadn't seen it before and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. But at the start of the month, when I got a chance to dig in, and I absolutely forgot how much of an insufferable asshole Shinji is. And, in addition to that, it reminded me of if you feel a personal connection with a character, it can make it all that much more, amplified as far as your hatred or love of a character. And I can't help but look at Shinji and see reflections of myself, and that pisses me off to no end. And so it's that act of don't be a Shinji. All right. Never be that shithead. All right. And so it's constantly one of those things. And so I love hearing everybody's reaction to him. But outside of that, it's just, this series is so layered and deep, and it influenced everything that came after it in so many different ways. It's, Asuka, she influenced Tsundere's for the rest of time. Okay. You have the father, you have Ikari going through and just being the steepled, glasses, exactly. You have all this different, stuff. I don't know. I just really enjoyed it, and I'm happy to hear everybody's thoughts, and we discuss specific points. Misato rules, okay? So.
All right. Anyone else got thoughts to share on the series?
It's actually my all-time favorite series. I'm a pretty big fan of it. I love all the layering to it. I don't think it's possible to truly dissect it to every little detail because there's just too much, and quite frankly, it contradicts with itself with its layers, which is actually kind of the point. Like you're saying about it being an interpretation of the Bible, I don't think it is. I think it's more just making references to it and how
That's-
it's a constant battle within a human being's self to deal with everything, whether it's physical pain,
agree that it
emotional
is
pain, the
making
ability. Sorry, go on.
Right. I was gonna say I agree that it is making the references to it. What I was saying is basically I've heard people posit that it is an interpretation of Revelations or something like that. I disagree.
That's not how I
There-
remember it. I don't remember some
I-
giant fucking angel coming down.
No, there is
Ancient aliens, right?
there is. I don't think you can argue that this is actually like an interpretation of the Bible in any way. They just make a lot of references to Christian beliefs.
Yeah, well, I agree. Well, I mean, it's literally fucking nailed to a cross. So I don't know how much more on the nose you can be.
The spear of
Right.
Longinus, yeah.
Adam and Eve, like it's all there, right? But like the thing about it though is, I was saying before, it's about a little conflict within a self, within everyone's self, whether it's a spiritual one, the lust which we all have. This show makes a lot of references to sexual stuff and kind of portrays it in. Is it the right emotion to have? Is it the wrong emotion to have? Is it purely just lust, or is it a deeper connection, or is it just the case of getting a fucking nut, right? And of course, for the sake of keeping it simple, we'll just call them mechs, even though technically they're not, because they're alive and they're infused with the souls of angels. We'll just leave it at that.
It is a lot easier to just call them mechs. That's what I had to do throughout. When we were doing the watch parties, I was like, I'm just going to call them mechs. I said that. I was like, it's easier to say mechs or Evas as opposed to like explaining really what they are. Like,
Yep.
It's way easier. Like I totally
understand all the Shenji hate. I totally get it. I support the Shenji hate. But one character that I feel gets a pass is Gendo.
Yeah.
Might be the worst father in the history of anime. He just lets everything fucking go down for the sake of because hey, you thought Bruce Wayne never let go of fucking deaths. This dude was prepared to end the fucking world just at the chance to meet his wife again. He was putting clones of souls into 14-year-old girls. There's a problem here that I think needs to be talked about.
Is he worse
just so
or
much to this
as
that I
bad?
fucking love.
Is he worse or as bad as the father from Full Metal Alchemist who turned his daughter into a dog?
Show Tucker.
Oh,
on a list of bad, it is a 3-way race between Gendo, and Show Tucker.
Yeah.
All 3 of those motherfuckers are up there for worst dad.
Who was the first one?
Endeavor.
Endeavor from
Endeavor.
Yeah, king of child abuse there.
Yeah, there's an argument
They're all
to be
pretty
made.
shit.
A lot of the fight scenes I really like, but I'm a really big fan of End of Evangelion. To me, that's like one of the best animated movies ever made. I think that's the best way to end it.
Asuka's fight in that against the Eva series was so good.
Sick, yeah. And then when you start to get into the rebuilds, that's a lot to go over with that. It's a sequel reboot at the same time, so it gets pretty fucking confusing, but I think that sums up this whole show.
Yeah, we won't get too much into the reboots because I'm pretty sure that Rolo and Roman didn't watch the rebuild stuff. I watched 2 of them. I haven't seen 3.0 and 3.0 plus 1.0.
Okay, so you're up to where it really starts to
diverge.
Yeah,
and so far I've actually really liked them. But I do generally think that there are certain things, particularly with some of like Shinji's everyday life stuff and like his life around Misato and at home is done much better in the original. It doesn't really give a good like connection between him and Rei and him and Asuka in the original, or not as good. I feel like some of the things that they do in Rebuild is a little bit better on that aspect. And the animation is still really good overall for both of them. I haven't had any complaints on them.
The thing I really didn't like about Rebuilds is the way the Avas move, how they're doing flips and shit like that. I much prefer where they're all heavy, like.
Yeah, that is a little bit dramatic. Some of that is just a little like over the top, but I'm used to watching ridiculous stuff at this point because of seasonal. So I'm just like, all right, the craziest thing I've seen is a zombie apocalypse where people turn into cats.
So if I may,
next doing backflips and shit, that's whatever.
If I may interject for just a second into that, with what you said about the acrobatics or whatever, one of the things I liked about the version that I watched, which I assume was like, it was the Netflix version. So
it's the original.
Right. But I like the fact that Ava 2 was the one that was acrobatic. The other ones weren't. Right?
Mhm.
Like that one would do the flips, that would do the corkscrews. You get the scenes almost like from Dawn to Dawn, what they're doing now with like the orchestral music, right? Very reminiscent. And like I feel like, yeah, you would have specialized Avas, right? Like you would have one that would be able to do all that. The other one would be like, like Ava 1 is like Master Chief. Like it's just like it literally has the MA5B. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just lighting shit up. It's the kick-ass one, right? And then you have a couple other ones, or the other one. But
yeah, you just have the other ones. It's like let's sit here and praise the Ava 2 and just like the other ones, just the other ones.
I'm disappointed that no one gave love to Pen.
Pen Pen's the shit.
The warm water, yeah. Pen
Pen's the boy, man. He's where it's at.
With the rebuilds, real quick before we move on, because I know we can't talk about it too much. I would say the one issue I have some concerns. Like I didn't like the ending of Rebuild as much, but then outside of that, what I would say is that I didn't like the way the Evas changed their design. In my opinion, like you mentioned their movement, but for me, it was more like they started softening their features and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
they
So
got
like
lankier and
yeah.
Yeah.
So that wasn't just in my head, because I was watching those and I'm like, they seem scrawnier than in the original series. And the one thing I kind of overlooked was what you guys mentioned with how they don't seem as heavy. One of the things that actually makes that fight in End of Evangelion so epic is that heaviness to it, where like everything seems like it has weight to it. They're like when Asuka like grabs that like double-bladed sword out of the ground and like spins around to attack one of the Ava series as it's coming at her.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's sick.
That whole scene was like, oh wow, that actually like there's a lot of good animation in that. And that's a clip that I had seen like circulate the internet quite a bit when I was watching this show, or before I ever watched this show. And I'm kind of sad that I had never watched it before, because like this is a really good one, and I'm kind of glad that we do these fictionologies, because we come across a lot of these things that are just like, oh wow, this was actually like really, really good. I'm kind of glad I went in and watched this whole thing.
Well, I mean, it was like last time with Star Blazers, right? It's like we all went into it and we were like, and then we were like, oh. You know what I mean?
Cool. Question for Muffler Tape really quick. Sorry, you didn't like the ending to the rebuilds. Like I said, I much prefer End of Evangelion. I think that's a great place to just cut it.
Agreed.
Did you not like the ending to Rebuild because did it just come across as being happy for the sake of happiness because of all the other complaints?
Yeah, that's kind of where I was coming from with it, because it didn't seem, for one, I did not like some of the storytelling mechanics in 3 and 4 as far as like time is concerned, and the shift in narrative as far as like the different characters it was focusing on. I much prefer the original cast of characters, and I liked them in their original roles, and the way it mixed up things as the story went on. I was like, okay, I can appreciate the other interpretation for it, but it didn't feel like Ava anymore to me at that point. It became its own thing, and it's still really good, but I don't think Shinji deserved the ending he got personally, or like with it just seemed overly happy, like you were saying, man. Anyway, I think in my opinion, the true ending is probably End of Evangelion. Okay, like the end of the original anime, it was so vague to begin with, but exactly. I agree with you on it. So,
dude, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I had to explain it to them. It was like 3:00 in the morning, and I'm sitting there going, okay, so this is what's happening.
Well, you're basically supposed to watch the movie before you watch 24 or 25 and 26.
Yeah, well, he didn't tell me that.
Well, but so the movie didn't come out until a year after the anime finished. So technically,
and that was purely because people went ape shit and said this is terrible.
Exactly.
Well, it doesn't make any sense logically. Like shit just sort of happens, and you don't understand what happened. What's going on?
Be like, yo, Muffler Tape, what the fuck?
It's called a budget. All right, they didn't have the money.
Budget.
Okay,
that's why they all started to move like That
or they held the elevator scene for 2 fucking minutes in the awkwardness between Asuka and Rey, and you're just like, oh shit, man.
That's great. I want to go back and clip that just so I can use it as a fucking outro scene.
Bro,
just like when I end a stream, just put it on, and it's just those two riding in the elevator for 2 minutes of silence, and then just cut the stream.
Bro, end of Evangelion where she just goes, I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I'm like, how long is this gonna? I was like, oh, they're doing it again. Malforte pointed this out to me the first time. Now I realize it. They're doing it again. I was like, holy shit.
Holding the frame. Yeah.
But I never had to say what I actually think about the show, which I think it is awesome. I really enjoyed it. I'd never watched it. I had been told to watch it all the way back in high school by our friend Alex, and like, just never got around to it. Now I had a reason to. Really enjoyed it. Noticed a ton of references. Like Tokyo 3, the Undercity is the Coruscant Underground. The gun that they use for the Eva, the machine gun, is an MA5B. Like, dude, there's so many things that are referenced. Like, there's so many Attack on Titan references and Bleach references. And literally, I know that George Lucas watched it because I'm a Star Wars scholar. I know that he watched it. He talks about it. He talks about that at Akira and Ghibli. Like, there's so many things from this movie that I was just like pointing out throughout this show that I was like,
sorry, did you say Attack on Titan?
Yeah.
There are things that are what he's saying is there are things that he said it the wrong way, but effectively what he is saying is that other shows that came after this took inspiration from it. So Attack on Titan took inspiration from Evangelion with there are people in the back of their necks.
Yes. Right. Slight inspiration, right? So that's kind of what I was getting at with it. And it's just little tiny things, right? But I'm going, oh, like somebody probably watched Evangelion. You know, like now that I'm watching, I'm like, oh, I know this from that, but that came after. So it must be, this thing. And dude, I almost had one of the most interesting ones, and I forgot about it. Roman, what was the one we were talking about? Other than Attack on Titan, Star Wars, there was another one that was like right with it. I'll get to it. I'll back to
there is one thing I do want to talk about. Like this was, if I'm not mistaken, this was from an era where like anime originals were kind of the norm, where adapting from a manga wasn't really as common.
Right.
So this was one that was just created as an anime.
Does this show not have a manga?
So
it's got fucking like 38 different timelines.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's got one.
Oh shit. I was gonna say is when an anime is popular, like an original like this, it does get a manga, but the manga is usually retroactive. And like they produce it after the show as like another merch thing that they can do for it. This one was legitimately just created out of the director's head, and they went with it. And I think that kind of aids in like it may be a little bit coherent and like self-contradictory in some senses with like the various themes. Like there are a lot of things you can extrapolate out of this. Like personally for me, one of the big things that I saw in here was basically the whole thing around Shinji with like love yourself, basically.
Right.
Where dude has to fucking kill the entire world to understand that, hey, maybe I shouldn't hate myself. Fucking wank stain that he is.
Yeah. So the other reference that I remembered was the face. It's just as simple as the face of the first angel that we physically see, which I believe was the third angel, right? The one that had the needle in its arm. That's a Menos Grande from Bleach. It's got the same face, right? Isn't that pretty cool? So, like, you can see these little references, right? And also, as somebody who is a biologist, I've studied these things. I love prehistoric animals. A lot of the angels were prehistoric animals. I brought this up throughout a lot of the watch parties. You have an Anomalocaris, you have a Pterygotus, which is a sea scorpion. You have like, dude, there's like multiple of them that are these amalgamations of ancient sea creatures that are now in like, so I'm watching this, I'm going, wow, it's crazy. And then that's not to mention the biblical facts. And when the angels make the cross, Lethal, you're going to know this, and Crimson, you know this. That's the Quincy Zygot. That's the Quincy cross. Dude,
yes, I do recognize that.
It's the same exact thing, dude. So I'm like, yo, like there's
also don't go saying slurs on my channel, please. I don't want to get demonetized.
That's not a slur.
It sounded like one.
German. But like what they go through is like
shit.
I'm watching this and I'm going, wow, there's this reference, and it's not even a reference. It's the opposite, right? It's like, wow, so many people watch this. Like George Lucas had the idea for the Undercity of Coruscant because of the Undercity in here.
I actually think Coruscant was in old EU books first, from late 90s.
It was the old EU books that first depicted that were in like way back in. So it would have been.
Thrawn trilogy had it. I
It
believe.
would have to be after 96. So 95, 96 is when the original anime came out.
Well, I was gonna say, wasn't Thrawn trilogy? Am I wrong? Wasn't Thrawn trilogy after that? Lethal,
I think Thrawn trilogy. I might be wrong, but I think Thrawn trilogy was early 90s.
No, you might be right, and then they could have taken a little bit of inspiration from that.
Back and forth.
Vice versa, you know what I mean? But like, you might be right about that. I don't remember. I know it was 90s for the Heir to the Empire, but I don't remember exact date. But I do know that there is things that I'm now seeing, like specifically in the design of the buildings on Coruscant in the prequel trilogy. Certain designs in the prequel trilogy that I see from Evangelion as well. So like, that was just one aspect, but I believe it was. Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it was like 92, 93.
Well, that's an interesting comparison because you hear a lot of people say, I'm going to butcher his name, Hideaki Anno, the director of this.
Yeah,
they kind of refer to him as Japanese George Lucas.
No shit, really?
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
I don't know if you guys have seen Shin Godzilla.
Yes, I have.
I'm familiar enough with it. Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but yeah, I'm aware of it. I know it's supposed to be very, very good.
That's him.
What?
Same director.
No shit. Yo, Star Wars Dog, what's up, dude? Hell, brother.
Yeah. So like we kind of talked about it on and off with like the themes and stuff and how like there are a lot of different things you can pull from this. I already said like I got like the whole message. Like when I watched this, basically the whole thing I saw out of it was Shinji's entire like self-hating arc that culminates in him basically being like, yeah, fuck humanity.
Depression.
I'm curious to see what everyone else kind of pulled out of it, because for me, a lot of what I saw was a similar message to like the idea of like what ReZero's main theme is: love yourself. So I'm curious to hear what everyone like when they watched it got out of it.
I got yeah, I mean, it was love yourself, but it was also self-loathing. It was just like...
Yeah, self-loathing was the main one I got.
Yeah, loving yourself and humans are our greatest enemy. That's also what I got from it, too.
I guess with what Lethal just said, like, agreeing when I said self-loathing, I think you guys would both probably agree when I say it's self-loathing with the aspect of loving yourself, but you can't attain it.
Yeah,
and more
you're
like
stuck in a depression,
a cautionary tale of humans and how fucked up we can become over like whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
there's that. The
you got to keep your levels in check. You know, health isn't just. Yeah. But like health isn't just eating well and working out and shit. There's like, is your mind strong? You know.
Mind and body.
Mind, body, spirit, all that stuff about lust, which can destroy a person as quickly as a physical injury in a lot of ways. So it's just about keeping all your shit in check, or you end up like fucking Shenji, which in my opinion is a terrifying concept.
Yeah, well, that is one thing I do want to dive into in a little bit. But like we mentioned the cautionary tale here. One of the other things that I saw in this, aside from like Shinji's whole like self-worth issue that pervades this entire show, was just mankind tampering with things that they really, really should not have tampered with. That was another theme through here. You kind of get a little bit better perspective if you watch like some of the rebuild, because they define it a little bit better. They start talking about how like man created the Avas in the image of God, and they're trying to create their own God because they want to become God and stuff. There's some really weird stuff that happens in there. But it's all kind of, understandable. Like, you start messing with powers beyond your comprehension, bad things are going to happen. That's, a pretty common theme in fiction. You start messing with things that you don't understand, it's never going to really go all that well. And some people just, want the end of the world because they hate humanity. But in this one, it definitely shows that, like, maybe the things that you use for your own survival are just as bad as the things you're fighting by using that.
I can't disagree.
What's it cost? What's the worth, right? Like, how much are you willing to sacrifice and stuff?
Do ends justify the means? Right. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they say?
Because you're fighting an alien threat,
Yeah, but in Attack on Titan, doesn't Armin literally ask Eren, what did it cost, Eren? What did it cost? And when he slams him into the water in the dream state, what did it cost? Am I wrong?
It's been a couple of months since I've watched Attack. Well, actually, no, it's been like, I don't know, a year since I've watched Attack on Titan.
I'm not just saying that. I'm just saying, like, it shows the same, like, it's proving the same point of, like, what the fuck did it cost, though?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to examine
would you guys say that, like, that this, like, not even so much like humans trying to play God? I think that's a part of it too. But would you guys agree maybe that it's like this might play a part of it too, like within humans trying to play God, but like maybe the greed of humanity, like humans just like not so much the greed, but like humans wanting to always cling on to everything that we have.
Yeah, well, that's what Gendo was. He couldn't let go, so he was like, "I'm just going to keep my dead wife." It's all about my dead wife.
Yes.
Yeah, but you're going to turn everyone into Fanta for your dead wife? Yep, in a fucking heartbeat.
Right. Yeah. So like that's kind of my thing is that like his greed, him not being able to let go, essentially ended humanity. Like he was just willing to like end everything to get her back. And so that's kind of like, I thought of it from like the metaphysical sense of like, yes, like it's humans trying to play God, but it's also what I got out of it, because I thought about it after we finished the movie. I had like 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and I just sat here and I just thought, like, humans in this series destroyed themselves too. Because
quite literally, Second Impact was all because of humanity fucking with shit they shouldn't have been fucking with.
Exactly. So while it's humans trying to play God, absolutely, it's also the arrogance of humans too. That I think, yes, like there are bad people, but it's the arrogance of humans that I would say is one of the causations, one of the factors for why everything happens in this.
Is it arrogance or is it pride, overconfidence, thinking, I got this, I can handle this. Oh shit, I just doomed Earth because I'm way out of my depth.
Well, I think let's talk a little bit about Sele's role in all of this, the organization, because their whole goal was basically to cause this shit to happen.
The shadow.
They wanted they quote unquote wanted a world devoid of original sin, and they sought that by driving humanity to extinction.
Yeah, because they saw themselves as the original sin.
Mm-hmm. Alex Jones was right here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you look at Nerve's tagline. What is it? God is in his heaven and all is right.
Yes.
That's a fucked up thing, man.
No,
that's
Lethal.
If someone said that, you'd be like, "Oh,
correct.
boy."
Lethal, you just solved part of the problem for us, really quick. Okay, I have to ask you something, and
I just texted you, Muffler. I just texted you. Do you see it?
Crimson,
my text message?
What's the name of the organization Gendo works for?
Sele?
No.
Or Nerve?
No.
Thank Jesus.
You.
Praise Jesus. Okay.
Thank you.
The
Bro,
Netflix dub, they had to get fancy with it. They just said nerve
They
all the
said
time, bro.
nerve,
It's just
bro.
fucking nerve.
They said
Bro,
near.
So we made it a drinking game that every time they said nerve during the watch party we would drink.
Yeah, correct.
They would be like nerve, and they would be like fuck, and then they would say nerve, and we'd be like fuck, and they'd say it again. Like
yeah, man, it's just
look,
nerve. Okay.
So look, I am all aboard like the localizer hate train for shit like that because it's just dumb.
Bro, we had a bet that you were gonna say nerve.
I was going to be pissed
no.
if you did
I was
too.
watching the original the whole time,
Yeah.
so nerve is ingrained in my fucking head. I was watching the original dub the whole time.
All right, sorry
Because
about that.
there would be times where they would actually just put so much emphasis on it. It would just be like, instead of just being like, yeah, nerve, it would be like nerve. And I'm like, why do they say it like that? Like, nerve?
I did notice that they said nerve in some of the newer dubs, and I'm just like, it's kind of weird. Just say nerve.
Just
Like here in the States, we say FICA, so like why not just why not say nerve?
Anyway, sorry.
Rolando says they were saying the words in such gay ways.
Yes, they were.
But yeah, so I think Lethal, to kind of respond, it may not be arrogance. It actually might be more so pride. I think that you're right. I think I used the wrong terminology there, but humans' over confidence or pride was in this series their biggest downfall. And I also think that they thought that they were untouchable, kind of sort of, with what like they were doing and such. So
do you find a sense of irony in the fact that it was because Gendo sacrificed his own son that he doomed mankind? Because he didn't love his son and didn't try to care for him or anything.
It's the flip. It's the flip.
You want to talk about religion? Who sacrificed their own son?
That's the flip of it.
Cain did.
No, who sacrificed their own son for God?
Oh, hey.
Oh, Abraham did it, right? Abraham did it. Abraham sacrificed his own son. Yeah.
And
that's actually a reference I didn't even think of while watching this.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of references. Like some of the angels, I don't think they ever really say, but some of them end up having names, and they do actually like mention like angel, like some angels' names.
I looked into it. They have biblical names. So you have Lilith, who is the daughter of I believe, if I'm not mistaken, she's
It really depends when it comes to Christian mythology, Christian beliefs.
Which is badass, by the way. Christian mythology is pretty fucking sick.
Lilith, depending on the interpretation, Lilith is either like a demon or like a pagan god who was worshipped by Israel at one point.
No, but
it's either the first wife of Adam,
correct?
Which I don't think there's actually any biblical standing for that. That's just something that sort of crops up
There's
outside of the Bible.
There's also one where she is the daughter of Adam and Eve that got tossed away. That's the other one. So there's two, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, Lilith is fucking sick. That's dope. The angels are the archangels. They build the tree of Kilfoth by the end. And if you watch Black Clover, you should know what the tree of Kilfoth is. But the tree of Kilfoth is the tree of death.
It's basically all the realms of hell.
The realms of hell, yes. So it builds the realms of hell and connects it. So Shinji is the Antichrist by coming in.
Yep.
That's a statement.
No,
like
he quite literally is. So when we started watching this show, because I love history. History is one of my favorite things. You know this. You've been on the Monday Night Mayhems. You know that I love to watch Forbidden Frontier and the Y-Files and things like that. I love history. I love the weird shit, right? But through this history, somebody's mic's going crazy.
I'm muted.
All right, I just got a message from
Could be you.
The questioners about Lilith. He sent me a whole article here.
But the thing is, there's so many references biblically because Muffler Tape was like, dude, you guys need to start watching it because you know more about it. So like when you're watching it, like watch it. Pay attention to like any biblical things. And now that you guys were bringing up like, you know, the way that Ikari treated his son and sacrificed his son for God, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Well, then that's just like Genesis, like, and all of this is Genesis. And then you have
It's almost like it's called Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Well, there's even
Correct.
some yes, but there's even some shit in the book of the book of Enoch that is in here.
A lot of the
giants. They're the giants that eat humanity, bro.
A lot of the book of Enoch, a lot of the book of Genesis, and there are certain it's not like
the Apocrypha?
The Nephilim.
It's
the Anunnaki. So the angels would be like the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, because there was 9 Anunnaki that came down. Yeah, bro. It's the book of Enoch, and I'm like,
it's not
for this. I'm not even that religious. I believe in a God, but I don't believe in all that shit. But I believe that shit happened. I mostly believe it's aliens, but like we'll figure that out on a different topic.
So
I was about to say that's one of your guys' topics. Not
I
mine.
know.
I talk anime and I do psychological and narrative breakdowns of characters and stuff. So
yeah. You want to get a limb? Come back to our show.
So
plug.
Here's the thing: is that it references the book of Genesis, it references the book of Enoch. There's a lot from like the New Testament in there, but I actually also caught a lot of like Revelation.
So do you guys know the significance of the spirit of Longinus?
Yes, I am very familiar with that one.
So my biggest pet peeve of this show is they keep saying Longinus.
They keep saying Longinus or Longinus. I was like, it's Longinus.
Longinus. I literally looked it up on the Patreon recording. I was like, hold up, I'm looking this up. Longinus. I'm like, I know I haven't been mispronouncing this, but Longinus. Fuck, Longinus was the person.
Longinus sounds like a vaginal infection.
It does. It sounds like. I said it to my mom today. I was like, bro, they call it.
Oh, bro.
Oh my god, he's got it. He's got the spear.
Lethals
have the spear Longinus. Hell yeah.
By the way, I don't think I ever showed you guys this.
Oh, that's sick.
It's
cool.
It's like a Gunpla model, so it comes with like the 1,000 pieces or whatever that you got to assemble. But
so do you know? But in case chat doesn't know, Longinus was the guy that killed Jesus Christ.
No, not necessarily. He was the one who stuck the spear into Jesus' side to see if he was dead.
Yeah, well, yes, but that is considered a holy artifact, the spear of Longinus, and it is said in a couple different scriptures that Longinus saw that Jesus was still alive and wanted to put him out of his misery because that guy was surviving for way too long. Is what was said, but there's also another one where it said that he just poked him to see if he was alive.
Officially, like according to the Bible and everything, officially Jesus was dead by the time that Longinus skewered him through the side to see.
Yes.
Right, officially, but that's not necessarily. I'm just saying there's 2 different accounts. There's 2 different accounts. The one account is where Longinus wasn't a bad guy, and he decided, I'm going to put this guy out of his misery.
I doubt that account because the whole point of crucifixion was to make it as brutal a death as possible.
As do I. I discount that as well. But my point is, I think it's fucking sick that they decided to use the spear of Longinus in this, but it didn't do much until it came back from the moon. And like also, the Antichrist is said to wield the spear of Longinus when it returns.
Huh?
If I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember.
Keep watching the rest of the series.
I was going to say, there's a lot more in the rebuild.
Roland, I've read Revelation like 4 to 5 times, and
who wields it then? Somebody brings it back. It has.
I don't ever remember a reference to the Spear of Longinus in the Bible.
Yeah, that doesn't get brought up.
That I think that's part of like specifically like Catholic like extra doctrine or whatever.
I was
That's just
gonna say
another
it
thing
must be
that's sort
extra
of like
shit then. It must be extra shit then.
Yeah,
because
as far as everything that I have read in the Bible, I have never ever seen a mention
I've
to
read
the
the-
spear
I've read-
outside of the
so long
the
since I've
fact
actually
that
read
it
the
does
actual-
say that the Roman soldiers they didn't break any of his bones and they stuck him in the side with a spear to see if he was dead.
Yep.
Right.
And the Antichrist does not, like, his sword does not have the spirit of Longinus. It has I don't want to be wrong here, but it's like
No, that's
like
facts, bro. The Catholic lore is crazy. They were cooking when they were writing Catholic lore.
That's true.
But, what were you saying, sorry, Roman?
Yeah, continue.
But
no,
point there.
Well, so I actually wanted to go back because I not that Roland did it on purpose, but I wanted to say that when this show was referencing a lot of Revelation, like obviously Shinji is the Antichrist, and now y'all are gonna call me crazy here, but in Revelation, Satan brings about the Antichrist. Now, in this scenario, to me, Shinji's dad is Satan. In this scenario, if Shinji is the Antichrist, but then that also makes me think, because in Revelation, the Lamb Jesus comes down and beats the absolute fuck out of Satan and also out of the Antichrist. So my
I'm
question
sorry,
here is,
I've never heard. I'm just laughing. I gotta.
Jesus beats the fuck out of him.
Jesus beats the fuck out of the Antichrist is a sentence I never thought.
Get
I'd
him,
hear in my
Jesus!
life.
Break the chain of evil.
Yo, can we go to Jesus anime, please?
All right, continue, Roman. Sorry for interrupting.
So Crimson, I know that this is your show, but may I kind of bring up like kind of a topic that like I was thinking about while like I was waiting for this. Who in this scenario is Jesus?
Misato.
All hail your Lord and Savior Misato.
Amen.
Hard agree.
I mean, I was a little bit more a fan of the blonde girl in the back there, Ritsuko, I believe her name was.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Here's the question.
But I don't think there's any real like character in here.
Yeah, I wouldn't call anyone a Jesus type figure in the show.
You can't really relate anyone in here to Jesus. There's not a good relationship to that.
Maybe the collective. Maybe the collective, because it's only after everybody's turned to goo and they're all in the LCL together that they bring about the redemption of Shinji by like smacking a motherfucker, waking him up, and then that way he's okay, I can forgive myself, and then things go back slowly in that direction. But like
I can forgive myself, and then I'm gonna murder the last other human being alive.
Disgusting.
But like I said, so I actually like as soon as I got done watching that show, I went to a different Discord and I literally said, I have finished Evangelion and now I understand the Shinji hate, that little wank stain. And I got a bunch of comments saying like, welcome to the dark side, welcome aboard. Yeah. And
Rolando.
This is actually something no, this is actually something that was very interesting and a point that I wanted to bring up because it was brought up by other people. A lot of people describe Shinji as an anti-hero. And it was a really good conversation that I had with a bunch of guys because they brought up the fact that the popular interpretation of an anti-hero, something like Punisher or Red Hood, isn't actually what is traditionally an anti-hero. Oops, I just smacked
the reluctant hero, you mean?
Not necessarily. They basically raised this is something
I know where you're going with this. I think go on, sorry. Because I got something for you.
they basically raised the point that Shinji is kind of a hero in a sense, because there are a lot of times where he actually does good things, but is he ever really doing them for the right reason? There are a lot of times where he drops the ball, and they effectively describe an anti-hero as that. And I actually looked up the definition for it, and that's actually correct, to a sense, because anti-hero is basically just described as a character who does not have the traditional heroic qualities.
Do you know who else is technically an anti-hero by the correct term of anti-hero? Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
I've never seen The Sopranos, so I wouldn't know.
Yes. Tony Soprano, yes.
Technically, what you're saying falls under the term of anti-hero.
You know who else would fall under the
characters like Jason Todd and Frank Castle and everyone else like that as kind of...
I'll name you one right now, but you could also call it a tragic hero, Anakin Skywalker.
Look, if I had prime Natalie Portman, I mean, she was more of
we would all do the same thing.
Padme was more of a groomer than Misato ever was.
No, yeah, for sure. But we would all do the same things.
How old are you, Annie? I'm 10 years old and I just got taken from a slave planet. Oh, fuck yeah. By the way, I'm a princess and I'm not even going to attempt to buy your mother out of slavery. You're mine now.
She literally just looked at the guy and said,
Yep.
You brought him here to kill me.
Just to not to side rail too much, have you guys ever seen the comic of like they do the whole scene where like it's like right at the beginning of the Battle of Heroes and like Anakin starts choking Padme and she's like, harder, daddy. And Obi-Wan and Anakin both just like break character and look at her and she's like, I mean, you're breaking my heart.
You're breaking my heart. Yeah, have you seen the one? No, but the what's it called did it the best. The Robot Chicken, where they had her with the shower. They did it the best. Where she's like, Anna, you can't. He's like, what are you doing to me, woman?
Oh man, no. I didn't really see like. I don't actually know. I mean, I would have to go back and really watch it and pay attention. Particularly in End of Evangelion. I mean, Misato is basically like, hey, if you go out and win, I'll have sex with you. Like, fully knowing.
Yeah. And she died.
Yes.
Well,
dude,
so I said
do you interpret that as she knew she was going to die? Like, she knew how much blood she had lost?
You don't.
Yes.
You don't.
I literally
okay,
said,
listen to me.
That same
I don't
thing.
care.
I said that's her last motivation.
Rolo, why are you movie Bob as Mario?
That's her last motivation, bro.
Listen to me. I don't care if you are about to die. You don't tongue kiss a fucking child. You do not do that.
We had this conversation. He was legal in Japan at the time. Okay.
Fine, I'll do this.
Dude,
yeah, and like he's fucking complain.
It was legal at the time for David Koresh to marry a 14-year-old girl. I don't want to hear like there's a lot of fucked up shit in history. It's still like the age of 12 is the age of consent in Philippines to this day.
I wouldn't give a if I was Shinji, I would not give a fuck. Groom the fuck out of me.
Yes, we know.
No, I same. Dude,
well,
I'm a 15-year-old orphan with nothing to live for, and this sexy ass Japanese chick who's like 5 years my senior at least wants to bang me. I don't give a fuck.
More like 5 years. Age.
Yeah.
She's 21.
I was about to say. I'm pretty sure this chick is at least pushing 30.
All right. Every single one of you, if you were in that position at that age, would not have been as much of a pussy as he was. You would have been like, you know what? I'm about to die. I might as well not die a virgin. Let's fuck, because you know what? The last thing the government's worried about is whether or not I'm fucking somebody who's a little bit too old. I'm just being honest with you.
Well, I mean, the government wants to wipe out humanity anyway, so what the fuck are they going to care?
Right, what's it matter? This is a hell scenario.
This is such a wild-ass conversation.
Well, to say that you wouldn't do it if you were in that position is retarded. You're 15.
But
yeah, I forgot what my original
probably
point
wouldn't,
was.
But you would like to think you would. That's the thing.
No, obviously, yes. But like, Well, like at 15, I don't know.
Roman, shut up. You would fold for the first goth girl who offered to step on you.
Actually, my goth girl arc is actually over, so no.
It's
bullshit.
Liar.
Goth girl arcs don't end; they just pause.
I currently have a lady.
I said that.
No. Nope.
So you have to pretend like you're not having a goth girl arc.
Goth girl arcs don't end.
Same thing with redheads. You don't want a redhead, and then you get a redhead, and then you don't want, and then the cycle just repeats.
Yes, it's so true.
Is that how it is with brown bitches too?
It's so true.
I'm fucking.
Oh my god!
My fetish with brown women has gone way too long. I thought my tennis girl fetish went long. God damn, this is like
that's a very specific fetish. Tennis
I'm a very
girl?
specific person. Yeah.
But there's some very specific images online that look pretty hot for tennis chicks. So
no, okay. Listen to me. Lethal, goth tennis girls. Oh my god!
I think we're conflicting what makes both of them good. I just don't think it's gonna.
Oh, that's like tomboy. That's like tomboy goth girl. I don't think they mix.
No, she just needs to have a green streak, piercings on her tits.
Too much sunlight already.
Correct.
A lip piercing.
Yeah, he's right.
Like
too much sunlight.
Silence, you glorified wad of trash, or I'll squash you like a rope.
Roman, we need to stop. See, like we said, the goth girl arc isn't ended. He's already back.
Exactly. It's not over. That was mad project. You're telling me what you want.
This isn't Roller Rome. This is not Roller Rome. So technically,
I'm just calling it. Months from now, you're going to have her dress up. You just be like, hey, how about you check out this, and it's going to be black, and you're just going to slowly try to turn her into a goth. Is what's going to happen. Okay?
I might do that.
So, sorry to break up the conversation about goth women, but how did you guys feel about the reception from Anno? How like he's ever since the show came out, he's had pretty much a fuck the fans attitude, but yet he comes across as the cool guy the whole time.
Weird.
Yeah.
I feel like as far as that goes, I haven't really seen it. I haven't looked into his attitude towards fans. But if we're talking like I don't care what the fans think about like the ending, I can respect it because to some extent, we could talk about Rifujin Namaganote, the creator of Mushoku Tensei, basically saying, I'm going to write what I want, and you guys either like it or you don't. I respect that kind of attitude. To some extent,
a lot of Rebuild was him saying, move the fuck on. That's kind of what the point of Rebuild was, especially at the end. He's saying, fucking move on. Let it go. This was 30 years ago. Get a life, losers. That's pretty much what he said.
Real quick, let me just to Lethal's point and to what Crimson just said, there's a level to that. And I saw Muffler shaking his head when I said that. There's a level to that because we're currently dealing with that with Game of Thrones fans. Move the fuck on, right? Don't worry about it. I'll get to it.
I feel like there is a healthy balance in there somewhere. Like, to some extent, you don't have an audience without your fans. So you do want to treat them to what they actually are interested in seeing. At the same time, you cannot possibly cater to all of them. And sometimes your creative vision conflicts with what they want. And a lot of times, your creative vision will come off better in the long run than just catering to whatever the fans want because it'll end up conflicting with itself. So I respect that as much as I don't like being like a confrontational asshole. That's just not who I am.
You're not.
When it comes to this creator, I respect his insistence on it is what it is, get over it. Like sometimes people do need that slap in the face, just like get over it.
Is there a set of Evangelion fans who like don't like the ending or something? Is that why like
fuck yeah. The whole reason End of Evangelion exists is because like people went fucking psycho at that ending.
Yeah.
It's the same way there's multiple endings for Attack on Titan and Muffler, I'm sending it right to you.
Okay, no worries. I was gonna say the two things directly going to what Lethal was saying though was that so the end of the anime happened. All right, fans were frustrated. So when he went through, he's like, okay, fine. You didn't like the way it ended. I'm going to show you something, right? And then that's the bad ending, okay? And now with Rebuild, it's sort of in between, okay? But the thing is in addition, one of the themes that we haven't touched on was Anno literally saying, well, it's just a fantasy. Don't get trapped in the fantasy. Move on, like what he's saying. It's like, it's just a story and stuff, so that's a direct commentary on the fans and stuff, too. So it's confrontational. But I mean, I could see that being a good thing, if you love something a lot, like you can have a push and pull, but it's, it's funny is what I would say more than anything else. I mean, you got 3 ends, pick which one you like, move on. I guess that's pretty much what it is. Right?
Yeah, it's really not the same.
It's also why sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, Roland brought up Game of Thrones earlier. It's kind of not the same, Roland, because George R.R. Martin has not finished writing his, books yet. Whereas, whether we like it or not, Evangelion has like an ending. So
no. I'm saying it's more so in the way that he doesn't like. It's the attitude towards the fans is what I was more so portraying.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say like Tokyo Revengers. I would have preferred a more cathartic ending, like if they just cut like the entire last arc off of the series and had it end with the wedding.
Naruto.
I would have preferred a much more cathartic ending to it. Like if you have a couple of characters die and not everything ends like perfectly happy, okay, so what? But as far as like Shinji as a character goes, I don't hate him as much as everyone else does. Partly because he's kind of similar to a lot of like characters that I end up actually really liking because of the complexity and stuff, the way you can analyze them. Like I said before the stream, when it comes to Shinji, I at least respect that when like a lot of times when it was do or die, he actually got shit done. So even though he was a whiny little POS, he like put in the mech and actually like told to do stuff. 9 out of 10 times he actually got. Who the fuck is lighting fireworks off?
Yo, it's like fucking 7:43 in the afternoon, dude. At night.
Anyway, he actually got a lot of shit done. And if you could get him to pilot the Ava, he was pretty reliable as a pilot. Unless you were specifically talking about instances where he was forced to fight his friends, where he was concerned about the lives of the people around him, which, however you want to judge those calls, I can still understand why he would, pause at the idea of fighting another Ava to the death, because there's another person in there. It makes it even more fucked up in Rebuild because he knows that it's Asuka in there. As opposed to not knowing who it is and then finding out later it's the one of the friends he made at school. But I've kind of lost track of where I was going with this.
It's okay. That happened to me really.
I don't hate Shinji as much as a lot of other people do, although I will not justify some of his actions because he does deserve the hate for how he chose to end the series. Like, there's no excuse whatsoever for just, sitting there being like, I'm sad, let's end the world. You can analyze it and come to you can understand his decision. And this is the part that I find a little bit frustrating about a lot of conversations is people aren't like able to like differentiate between a couple of different points. So, I can say that I understand Shinji's decision in this and still completely disagree with it because it is an utterly nihilistic mindset to decide, hey, all the people I care about are gone. Let's just end humanity. That is absolutely inexcusable. Regardless of whether you understand it at all.
Brahman, 1 second. I think that Lethal had a point he wanted to make earlier because I saw him on mute.
What?
Exactly. He's good.
Okay. I was just saying. I thought he had.
Sorry for my yap fest. If anyone had.
No, I thought he had a point that he wanted to make, so I was just gonna.
I have one after Roman does, though. Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually wanted to ask you guys something. So first of all, before I ask this, I know that Muffler, Roland, and Crimson have, but Lethal, have you seen Attack on Titan?
Yeah.
Has Lethal seen Attack on Titan?
I'm pretty sure I didn't watch it all the way to the end, but I know everything that happens.
Because Ivan definitely fucking told him.
The three of us are familiar with Lethal's stance on Attack on Titan. Roman is not. It's just
so the three of us.
So what is your question?
I used to have to moderate a chat while Lethal was talking about Attack on Titan. So
my question my question is, who had more of a justification for doing what they did, Eren or Shinji?
This isn't
more of
even
a justification.
This isn't a question.
Who
There's
had
no
more of a
doubt.
Who have more of a justification?
Not like justification, but like I guess whose like stance would like I don't know, because
You know what? I'm going to give it to Shinji because at least he had a fucking stance.
That's not
No
the answer
way.
I expected. That's
No
not
way.
the answer I expected.
No way.
Eren flip flops.
Yeah, fair enough.
So basically, your reasoning is Eren's just uncommitted to doing anything, whereas at least Shinji makes up his mind.
Eren wanted to save his family, Lethal, and he wanted to save the ones that he wanted to save the ones that like he loved. Shinji
Fantastic job he did.
Fantastic fucking job.
He's an idiot. He's a,
to be fair, I don't think
he's a pussy, but at least yeah.
And to be fair, I don't think Attack on Titan ever gives you any reason to not think that Eren is an idiot. Like he's just an idiot the whole way through.
Dude,
there's never a point at which he's fucking
the entire way through. He's retarded.
No, I'm giving it to Shinji. Shinji at least has a decision. Eren's back and forth, and then cries and
yes.
It's also very interesting. Like if you listen to the lyrics of the song that plays at the very end of Evangelion, the end of Evangelion. Yeah, I've been listening to that song over and over again. It's very interesting to hear the lyrics, and if that's basically how Shinji feels about it, it's basically just like, I mean, I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I don't care anymore. Like everything that I loved is gone, and I know I'm never going to be able to like repair that damage. So I'm just going to end it all and drift off into space and be done with it.
Yeah, whereas like, you know, Eren felt like him doing what he did was what he had to do.
Bro,
Lethal. Whereas like, you know, Shinji's just a piece of shit.
Like
I'm not going to deny that Shinji's a piece of shit. Shinji is a piece of shit, but at least he's a piece of shit that can make up his fucking mind and stand by it.
The one time though that Shinji commits to something, it is the genocide of the entire human race.
Eren couldn't even commit to that.
Also, all right, I'm on Lethal side with this. Eren Yeager also is such a fucking bitch because Eren literally is just he's sitting in the water going like smacking water on the ground, and he's just looking up at fucking Armin going, I just want to make it to love me. I just want to love
you know what? At the very least, I will give you guys this. At least Shinji didn't end up in the cuck chair in his own series.
Literally.
That's
okay.
Eren,
that's fair.
Eren, do I like Eren Yeager as a character? Yeah. Do I think he's retarded? Also, yes. My favorite character in Attack on Titan is not even close to Eren Yeager.
So, a bit metaphysical, and also getting a little dark with this, though. So, the whole concept of Shinji making his decision and, you know, ending humanity and stuff, right? Especially when it goes into the mind and stuff, and it starts, like, asking those rhetorical questions and stuff, and we know the series is about depression. What would it like? Is it that far of a stretch to say if he ended himself, would that be essentially the end of mankind because of the depression and stuff? So is that what it's trying to say on that level? You know, I think it could be
a very literal sense. Do you mean in a very literal sense?
Yeah, like if he dies, then the reflection, it's gone. Like everything's gone at that point. You know, like I mean,
I don't know about that. That's tough to answer, but I think it was more a case of, if I can suffer as much as I am, then holy crap, how much is everyone else suffering? We should just throw the whole board in the bin and be done with it.
Okay. Yeah. Totally.
That's an interesting interpretation.
If it's quite literal, if I die, it's the... I don't know about that, though.
See, the thing is, when you get to the last couple of episodes, they describe it as basically, this is the world that Shinji wanted, a world where like only he existed away from everyone. They talk about this theme throughout the series. We can call it basically the hedgehog's dilemma, where Shinji is afraid to get close to people because that's how they refer to it in the series.
Yep.
Because he's afraid of getting hurt. And so his whole thing, like he finally gets close to people and he loses those connections and just decides it's not worth it. There's one interpretation of it. When it comes to like that decision though, it's always one of those things where I've kind of, I should watch my language here. The alcohol is having an effect.
Same.
When it comes to Shinji's decision, I always viewed it as an escape mechanism for him. He was running away again. Even though, like we said, he knew that what he was doing was wrong. But it wasn't so much a merciful thing at all. He literally just didn't understand what was going on. He didn't understand what was going on with himself. So he's just like, I don't want to deal with any of this anymore.
Yeah, but that's literally what that consequence is, though. It's like, I'm running away. I just want to be alone, and the ultimate alone is not around everybody else and stuff. That's kind of, I was taking it for a literal,
Well, you know what? I can. I grew up as an only child, right? I can understand liking your solitude. But this kid takes it to a different level. I like to be alone. I like my parents know.
Like this daddy Sony's.
That I'm not big on I will communicate. Trust me, I do it. But I also like my alone time. But he takes that shit and turns it up to, just like Spinal Tap turns it up to 11.
They got that hikikomori culture over in Japan too, man. I mean, he just shuts himself off. That's the thing. That's not an uncommon thing for them to do.
No, that's true.
There's a lot of stories about such NEETs or whatever, people who just shut themselves off from the world. I mean, I already mentioned Mushoku Tensei. That's a very good example of one. There are plenty of others. I mean, even ReZero is kind of a story like that, except for they don't show that element of the story as much. And the whole reason I keep kind of coming back to that one is because it has a very similar theme to Evangelion, even though ReZero's is a much more positive interpretation of it. The main character doesn't have to kill all of humanity to realize that, hey, maybe I should love myself.
He just has to have a crash out, a legendary crash out.
A legendary crash out and a bitch slap from a couple of witches, yes.
Pretty much.
Man. But yeah, no, so I just it's kind of interesting how deep in thought this series has been putting all of us, because it's very interesting when you break it down. There's things that you can kind of comprehend at the surface level, but then if you really go deep into it, there's a lot of stuff, and this show tackles a lot. And I'm just glad that this was this month's Fictionology, because I had fun being able to see a lot of themes that I don't see in a lot of animes, because generally I watch the same types of anime. And Crimson has said in the past that he was not a big fan of the end of Attack on Titan because of how dreary it all was. Crimson, do you mind me asking you, do you like the end of Evangelion ending to Evangelion?
So there are two. I have a big distinction between the end of Attack on Titan and the end of Evangelion. So with the end of Attack on Titan, I've taken up a less favorable position on it as time has gone on, particularly because Isayama's final scene is entirely nihilistic. Yes. I said this when we did the Space Battleship Yamato Fictionology, where basically his whole point is that war is a result of human nature. We're going to be at conflict with each other. But his conclusion is that we can never overcome that. And I hate that kind of messaging. That's why I liked Space Battleship Yamato much more, with the Chad Susumu Kodai being like, you have to have the courage to not pull the trigger.
My boy Kodai.
Evangelion, I don't find myself hateful. I just find myself depressed. Really, I find Shinji to be an entirely pitiable character. And not because everything that he suffers is oh, woe is him, all that. He's just a guy who wallows in his own self-pity throughout the entire series. He feels so sorry for himself that the moment he feels pain, he is willing to just end it all.
Yeah, faggot. Oh, sorry.
Woo!
Okay, we're going with the spicy words. You are going.
Isn't that baguette? What do you mean?
No spicy word. No spicy word.
Baguette.
Okay?
What do you mean? You don't have to actually even talk about it. I just said baguette, like French.
Okay. Anyway,
the only one that can legally say that here is Lethal. Okay, all right.
I'm Australian.
I was talking
French.
about my dude. I like cigarettes in Britain.
But yeah, so like,
so to answer the question more definitively. Sorry to cut you off here, but I do want to answer it more definitively. I'm not happy with the ending of Evangelion, but at the same time, I always analyze things in multiple ways. So narratively, I understand it. I'm okay with it. It all flows and it makes sense. Morally, Shinji's a reprehensible person for that act. And that's all I have to say.
Well, another thing with that, though, is would you say that, again, just comparing the two endings, end of Evangelion, it feels like it's actually consistent with the rest of the story before it? More so than Attack on Titan, at least?
Yeah,
I actually think that Attack on Titan's ending is a little bit more consistent with everything.
Really? How? I thought End of Evangelion's ending, it pretty much is like the B-side ending to the same story.
It's honestly like neck and neck to me. Like, I don't really like either ending because I'm a guy who does enjoy like a happy ending where, the hero rides off into the sunset with his girl, unlike Kaiju number 8. Sorry, if Biggles, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I'm never going to stop ragging you for that. But I don't really care much for either ending. It's just when it comes to Attack on Titan, you could kind of see that ending coming from a mile away.
Yeah, you're right.
To be fair, part of it was a little bit that like I had been spoiled, but all of the hints were there for the ending throughout the entire series.
Yeah,
with
like
Evangelion, it was one that was a little bit more like up in the air. Okay, will they, won't they? And this is another one that I kind of knew the ending to as well. But
I never expected him to try to strangle her on the beach.
Yeah,
Neon Genesis.
In this case, Neon Genesis, like, it's a little bit more. I don't know.
It's a fresh start.
It's a little bit more about what the message is to it, just like the human expression element of it, than Attack on Titan is.
Yeah. So
again, my big gripe with Attack on Titan's ending is Isayama's final scene with the war reigniting at the very end. I just find that it's really nihilistic as an interpretation.
Yep. So what you're saying is that, and I happen to agree with you if this is what you're saying is that Attack on Titan built up to its ending, whereas Evangelion not like it built up to it too, but not in the way that Attack on Titan did, where like from the very first episode, kind of what the end of Attack on Titan is going to be, whereas like with like Evangelion, it didn't build up in that way to what Shinji does. Like
I think they're pretty close in that quality, to be entirely honest. Like Evangelion is kind of like you kind of see where it's going, but I just feel like Attack on Titan's ending is just marginally more consistent with the story. That's effectively my point.
Fair enough.
Although I still enjoyed the ending, I still liked Evangelion, like Evangelion's overall story, more than Attack on Titan because, like I said, as I've said multiple times already, Isayama's final scene should never have been a thing.
Agreed. Do you plan on doing a video once you actually complete Rebuild as well? Because I would be very interested in your thoughts on where you think Rebuild ends as well.
I was just thinking that with the ending of Rebuild compared to everything he just said.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Well, I do plan on actually for all these fictionologies doing a long form video essay. So, like I said, I've been working on the Light Yagami one, but one's been production hell for me because it's like script it, record it, feel like I can do better, scrap it, re-script it, re-record it. And I think I'm finally at a point where I'm okay with it. And then I got to do Kodai. I want to do one on Kodai. and then I would get around to Shinji. Yeah, well, Kodai is going to be a pretty easy one, if I'm thinking about this correctly. But
why not do Destler? Make it a little bit harder on yourself.
Well, I might just end up doing a little bit of both and sort of talking about both those characters
because they are like a yin and yang of the show. Lethal, have you ever watched Space Battleship?
Oh, fucking ages ago. I can hardly remember it.
Okay. It's so good. I had them. That was the one that I picked for this Fictionology last month. We had a lot of fun watching that.
Yep.
But yeah, as far as doing like long form videos and stuff, I will do one eventually on Shinji. I find the character very, very interesting. And while I don't necessarily like him, there are a lot of things about him that I do like find compelling that I would enjoy making a video on. And so that's why I find myself a lot of times like breaking down his actions and thinking about them in much more detail. And I find myself a little bit more defensive of a lot of his actions up to a certain point.
I think that your video on him better than your Rudius Grey Rat video.
If you watch the rebuilds before, I would agree. Yeah.
Yes.
I think
because and Muffler's picked up on it as well. There's a few things that you said there were like, oh, wait till we see his rebuild.
Yeah, correct.
So I don't know interpretation either, for sure. I just think that I think you could do a better job. And not that your Rudius Grey Rat video is the one that went fucking viral, basically.
Actually, that was both Subaru and Rudius. That one went pretty wild.
So I think that dude, a Shinji video might go crazy, bro.
I have a couple of big video essays that I want to do, and one of them is to the point that I've been talking about quite a bit lately. With like, there are two ways of looking at fiction, where it is either art as entertainment, which is, like the solo leveling camp, or the art as human expression, which is more so Frieren Evangelion kind of stuff, where you are specifically watching something because there are layers to it that make you think, that you engage with. So there are a couple of things that I do want to do. But in particular, when it comes to Evangelion, the thing that really, really interests me is just Shinji in general. As a character, I really, really liked how he was written. I can deal with the whininess and stuff much more than other people. I guess that's just kind of who I am. I tend to be more charitable towards people and their actions in a lot of things. But
Subaru lover.
Pretty much, yes. But I've already given a reason for why I really, really like Subaru. There's a video about that on my channel. But with him, it's like there are some interesting things that I actually comprehend that I'm like, if I were in that situation, I don't know if I'd make the same decision or not. Like, I genuinely don't, because there are certain qualities to him that like I kind of see in myself, but like not at the same time. At the same time, there's a lot that I don't sort of relate to. And it's mostly just his reluctance to like really like get involved in the war that is going on around him. Like, I can understand that, but at the same time, like in the context of the story, from as an outside observer, it's like, just get in the fucking mech, Shinji. Just get pilot the Ava, or Rey goes in again.
Who is a funnier question? So you're telling me that Nerve can create all these Avas and Tokyo Free and all this type of stuff, but when it comes to a time when they have to kill two angels at the exact same time, they can't come up with some hardcore computer system that puts everyone in sync. Their idea to save humanity is just to whip out the old Just Dance and sync up your patterns in that.
That's Misato's idea, if I remember.
Yes.
Well, it's the best idea of all time then.
Exactly.
Never mind.
That again is another one where I start to break it down. Narratively, yeah, there's some.
That's one of the best fight scenes with music. That's the whole reason why it's there, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned on that, it's there because it's supposed to build that relationship between Shinji and Asuka. It's supposed to show a little bit more of them coordinating and getting closer to each other, actually working as a group. But if you talk about it in context of just story, it starts to break down as the moment you start like thinking about it logically. Like, what's the point of this? Like, you have a computer that can predict the future. You can't make something else to, help two robots fight at the same time. You literally have the plug
or even
system.
like
use the plug system and tie them together.
Or come up with like some type of plan where the angels are like, next to it in front of each other. So you just stab right through both of them. Nah, just dance, baby. And the
you gotta get that
Asuka kicks him
GDR
during
there.
that, she could have seriously hurt him.
Right.
So since I know what y'all are gonna say, your serious favorite character, and then your like funny meme favorite character, because I already know what Lethal's about to say because I can see it in his name. But
she's got squishy boobies.
Oh my god!
Who is everybody's favorite characters? Like seriously, your favorite characters, and then like your like meme characters, or like your like funny favorite characters.
Serious is Masato. Like I actually do like the whole mother angle to the whole thing and all that,
Fair
and
enough.
the stuff about her dad and how fucked up Masato actually is, and how, like I was talking about, keeping all your levels in check, and how her lust level's a bit out of fucking control. There's like a 4-minute scene of her being fucked off camera, which whatever. But
you're right.
There is actually
it's not
like
fair. It should have been me.
Nice.
It's like there's a lot to that, the whole mother angle, while at the same time being like, this is a teenage boy. Pussy's probably his biggest motivator in the world. There's that as well. So I do actually think there is quite a bit to her character. But my favorite meme character, it's Pen Pen. I think I speak for everyone. It's Pen Pen. He's a fucking penguin.
He doesn't even really do much for the plot. He's just there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what does he actually do? This is just Pen Pen.
He is like the fucking original like Baby Yoda. He's just there for merch.
Yeah, so Lethal, I looked this up. He's not, like, and like as somebody who works with animals, I was like, this isn't even a real penguin, right? And I looked it up. It's like, no, he's just an amalgamation of like 2 different species of penguin to make him look the way that he is. And I was like, yes, that is Pen Pen. That is Pen Pen. And the fact that it says Pen squared on his little necklace, which is great.
I also like the way they introduced Pen Pen in the original more than Rebuild. I feel like there's a little bit more interesting build up. Like, hey, what's this? Oh, he's probably asleep right now. And they just sort of like, there's the whole comment like that sort of alludes to Pen Pen being around. And then later on, Shinji discovers the penguin in the bathroom and comes running out.
Dude, the guys were laughing, or they were actually very concerned. They're just like, what kind of person lets a penguin roam around and then not be dressed and stuff? They were freaking out about that, Like, I'm like,
best damn person.
Right.
So my favorite like serious character, I gotta say, is probably Kaji, and there are a few reasons. 1, he's very suave. 2, I just think that he's cool. But 3, he's also based as hell. And now, granted,
4, he's probably the most morally correct character in the whole show.
Well, that was what I was gonna say, because yes, okay, Muffler, I get it. They're legal, but the fact that morally he did not get with Asuka is still like something that is like
that's a good thing. Yeah. Like,
what the fuck, bro?
No. That's
I don't know where you're going with this. Like, why did you say I'm sorry, Lethal? He didn't fuck Asuka. Like, what the fuck is that kind of comment?
No. Because when we were doing
we talked about the 3 impacts. This is another one of the 3 exceptions.
When we were doing the watch parties, I kept saying, bro, he's a minor, bro, she is a minor, and then the whole like technically like the age of consent thing. But like the point that I'm making is that like Kaji, even though by all like technicality Asuka could consent, it was the fact that it was like
a kid. He didn't give a shit,
Yeah,
I agree.
Well, I mean, I don't know how true this is, but she's also German, And apparently what I've seen from some preliminary searches is Germany has some exceptions where like 14 is the age of consent. There's a bunch of rules around it apparently. But that's what Google says. Take it with a grain of salt. I know Marcel has said that that's not quite correct. And I wouldn't put it past Google to be incorrect on this issue, but still I do agree. Kaji is probably the most morally upright person in this whole series.
Is like the most morally best character, and then I would say that I actually genuinely like Misato also, and then I think for the cool factor, I'm blanking on his name right now, but Shinji's dad just like aura farming every single scene is just like really cool.
Right.
Like yeah. And then the meme character.
Yes.
Yeah. The meme character probably like what you guys said, probably Pen Pen. But those are my serious characters, and then those are like my meme characters. So whoever wants to go next.
Well, I mean, I particularly enjoy Shinji as a character just from like writer brain kind of stuff. Like I started like analyzing him and all his motivations and stuff like that. So if I had to say like what's a character that I really liked, it's specifically Shinji just because of the way he's written, and I find a lot of things interesting about him. Not so much that I agree with him or like him as a person or anything. I think we've been pretty clear that we all think that Shinji is a piece of shit throughout the series. Favorite meme character though, I would say would be his father, because based child abuse against Shinji. He deserves it. This is the one time where I am like full on like in agreement with Biggles, like yay, pro child abuse kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, I guess my favorite character, if you don't mind me.
Fujitsuki?
Well, Fujitsuki would probably be my meme character, to be honest with you, because like I just think he looks like Tarkin, but I also love him. Right. He's also a good person. I called him Grand Moff Tarkin throughout the entire thing because that's what it looks like. But honestly, Misato and Kaji are my favorite characters. They're equal. They're the best people. But like, if I want to pick like a character that's like a side character, I guess, and like he'll fill the role of meme for me, would be Fujitsuki. But also really like the kid with the glasses who keeps taking pictures. He's a meme character.
Dude, the original dub for him, like his original dub voice is
his dub is great.
It's an acquired taste.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like someone basically just plugged their nose and then started talking like this.
All right,
that's a new Evangelion.
Yeah. So I will be slightly different. Like I definitely agree with Lethal regarding like Misato, and for the reasons that he brought up too. I think that she's an incredibly complicated character. Like there's a lot of different layers to her. How she psychologically acts in situations, like how she fights against her own nature and stuff at times. She tries to be a good person. She's a great leader too. And like that's exemplified too when the more you watch like Rebuild as well, you get to see her more and more in a leadership role. And I really like her resoluteness in some decisions that she makes and stuff like that. So I think she's a great character top to bottom. So I would say she's my favorite still. But then like a secondary favorite for me, and a meme character, I would say too, arguably, is Asuka, and I'm going to explain a little bit. So Asuka's character is incredibly complicated too. There's layers to her character that you don't even know unless you've watched the Rebuild series as well. And
layers have layers.
Yeah, exactly. And so the thing is like, her abandonment issues as well kind of mirror Shinji's in different ways. The issues around her mother, presumably, and then some other stuff that gets brought up later on. I think that it's very interesting the way she acts. Like she's instead of inward the way he is, she's projecting always. So she's like more aggressive, but in the same sense, right? So I like that. But I mean, if we're talking about memes, I mean, again, she became the pinnacle of all tsundere characters. Ever since then, she was the stepchild. I mean, she was the poster child, you know. So I love the over the top anger. I've always had a soft spot for tsunderes because of Asuka. So that's what I would say.
How often do you see her as a meme in something that's just completely fucking unrelated? Okay, here's a picture of Asuka going loser, you know, something like that. You go, like, she very much became
some
a
dumbass point, like you want your balls squished by someone, loser.
Or there's the whole like Germany thing too with her.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few of those. There's quite a few of those. You got
Joe
like
Rogan meme.
What the joke?
Is
so
then
like he told me I was the lowest of the low, and that I'm pathetic. And Joe's like, oh shit, this bitch is fucking weird.
Yep. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah. Plenty of her.
Also, hello, Rita Productions. It's been a while since I've seen you around here. Yeah, there's, I don't know. I always find myself with like very, very like singular interests when it comes to anime and stuff. I find things that are very entertaining that a lot of people don't. Kind of like how I would definitely be more inclined towards Ritsuko than Misato. I don't like disparage anyone for not making that same choice. It's just I don't know. There's something about blondes.
I mean, they're both hot.
You like chicks that like bad boys, then, you know, because like obviously she had the same problem her mother had, and they both had the same fate for it too.
There are so many things I really want to say that I'm just like maybe I shouldn't say on this.
Abuse. We talk about child abuse. Who's actually the one that does the most child abuse in the show? I'll give you a clue.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Damn.
We're just gonna keep that vague there, huh? No, like Ritsuko's mom is definitely pretty fucked up, in my opinion. I forgot about those scenes until we got, you know, like again, the context around the three magi and her whole complicated life and stuff too. And it's like, well, you know, yeah, that was definitely bad. You know, Ray deserved better. Okay.
Time to kill a child because she made a joke about me being older than her.
Old hag.
Yeah. Oh well, time to strangle a kid. Did Shinji really have it that bad in comparison?
I mean, Ray's
character. No, Shinji's basically just neglected, never really abused.
Ray's like, I'm the third one now. That man will never let me rest and stuff. Like, she's got a fucked up life, dude. It's really bad.
Honestly, if Ray had done what Shinji did, I actually would not have blamed her as heavily because she had it.
Bruh.
Actually accurate.
Oh god, I keep forgetting that.
So fucked up.
Dude, that's such a fucking like meme scene out of the show. Like, as fucked up as it is, that gets memed so hard. Like, even before I had watched this, I saw all of the jokes about Shinji jacking it in the hospital room.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Chainsaw
Bro man, literally just sees titties and like,
yeah.
I bet.
He was that like depraved that he was just
dude didn't even bother to get a tissue to clean up. He's just looking at his hand like,
did he wipe it on her? That'd be fucked up.
Why are you asking that question? Don't ask the question. All right, it's bad enough. Don't make it worse. All right.
Now, knowing the little fucking wank stain that he is, he probably just wiped it on his pants and left.
Stain on a stain.
Also, thank you, Rolanda. This is the wrong fucking screen. Thank you, Rolanda Ramirez, for the member message. Loved the alternate NGE normal school life.
Yep.
Interesting. I still gotta finish Rebuild before I finish all of my thoughts on Evangelion. Unfortunately, my procrastination and also heavy work schedule these past couple of weeks prevented me from actually getting all the way there. Lovely. So yeah, one of the things that's like very interesting about the show is, like Lethal said it very, very early on, where there are like a bunch of layers to this. There are a bunch of interpretations to this. I don't think you can ever really like get to the bottom of any discussion on this because everyone's going to come at it with a very different perspective.
Well, I believe there's a reason for that, though. Is it's meant to be, excuse me, it's meant to contradict each other because, well, that's life, and all these different things that fuck with people in the real life that fuck with them in the show. It's impossible to balance every single one of them 100%. There's always going to be something that's taken precedent for better or for worse, and that is going to contradict with each other. You're trying to be a good person, but at the same time, you have all this other bullshit going on, so that causes you to go and do something stupid, and then you try to make amends for that, which now puts you in this other situation. It's all meant to contradict each other. It's about how you... It's like finding stability in all the chaos without going too fucked with it.
Well, I was more so going at it like I feel like a lot of people's own life experiences are going to affect how they view it. Like for me in particular, with the love yourself sort of thing, there's a reason why I draw that message in particular out of it. And that is another reason why I do end up, really enjoying ReZero. Is there was a point in my life where I needed a outside perspective on that kind of stuff. But I imagine that there are other things that a lot of people do draw out of it, and that's kind of like why I asked the question earlier. Is like, what do you like in particular pull out of it? And it wasn't supposed to like lead everyone to like a certain conclusion. I was just curious as to like what interpretation or what like major theme out of it was the one that really stuck out to you. Evangelion ends up being one of those ones where I feel like you can have a lot of different interpretations that do fit in with what's going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. I think you could definitely, have a lot of different interpretations. Like this show is not just like, we've made a lot of parallels to Christianity throughout this context, right? Like, am I a Christian? Yes. Do I believe in everything? No. But like, I believe in a God. But there's so many other things that are going through this show. Like, there's Buddhist shit in there. There's like tons of different things in there that are all being part of this show. So I think there's many different aspects, and also whether it's religious or not, like moral wise, there's all these different people with all these different morals. That it's like, who do you connect to, right?
What makes good art is that you can have multiple interpretations on it depending on your perspective. So that's the best part about it, right? I'm more in alignment with Lethal in general, but what I would say is that my perspective is definitely colored through like personal issues that I've had in the past too, kind of like what Crimson said, but a little bit different. I've definitely had issues of depression in my life. I've definitely dealt with a lot of people around me having pretty severe mental issues too. And so like what I draw from it may be a little bit different, but like that's part of the reason why I like it so much too, is that, it hits home a lot of ways. Okay. But when you look at the director was going through severe depression when he was going through and creating Evangelion. Not only do you get that perspective, but to me, it means more almost, to have that, like, oh, well, I can kind of feel where he's coming from on some level. And I can see the issues that he would fall into and kind of his struggle paralleled with the character's struggle and stuff like that. So it's one of those things that makes it like a timeless classic.
My thing is that I'm gonna get kind of deep here for a second, but there was a time where, not to the same extent that Shinji was like I wasn't gonna like destroy the world or nothing of that nature, but there was a time where I was on like the path of like being in that dark place, and I almost got there, and I almost let it like destroy me. And the thing that I realized with this show, what it taught me was that even though I'm not perfect, I still have to appreciate who I am as a human because I'm trying. And so it's not perfect, but I wouldn't give up what I who I am now. I wouldn't give that up. And just it it tells me to not let myself ever go back to the place that I was at. That's actually what I got out of it. So I actually did get something out of this. Which
Based.
when we were watching it, I was kind of thinking like, you know, I'm gonna get something out of it, but not that. But seeing Shinji's arc, I was like, I was him once, not to the same extent, but I was him once, and I never want to go back to that place. Ironically, around the same age as him too. So, but I had a lot that I had to go through. But yeah, that was what I got out of it. So
Yeah. I was gonna make a joke there, but I decided to let you finish, so I'll
sorry.
say it now. No,
Sorry.
just things may be bad, but you'll never be Shinji.
Correct.
You'll always be better than Shinji because you haven't ended the world.
Thanks. Not yet, anyway.
Correct.
Not
Not
oh
yet.
yeah, I forgot that he still wants to put people in concentration camps, right?
Yeah, Roman's a commie.
Secret's out.
He's just letting it slide. He's just accepting it now. He's not even fighting it. He's never beaten the gay communist allegations.
I'm best.
Well, I mean, he's got a girlfriend now, so maybe half of that. All right. Except for his exceptions.
That's the people's girlfriend.
Ooh, hey, what's up, Roman? How you doing, friend?
Our girlfriend, comrade.
That's the people's girlfriend. Holy shit.
Interesting. The world is not yet Shinji level bad. So so that beckons the question: what level are we at?
Well, until a bunch of scientists go to the Antarctic Ocean and start messing around with some god level bullshit that blows up the planet, I think we're not there yet to go. Yeah.
Younger Dryas too.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
Younger Dryas too. Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
The world's bad, but it's not that bad. So.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like, I can never understand. Like, it's just because I've never actually been to that point of depression. I guess the mindset of just like that Shinji has at the very end there, where like everything seems like it's gonna fail. Because I've always been of the mindset, like even at my lowest points, it's always been like I'm just gonna keep going out of spite. Because I know that whatever bad shit I'm going through right now, it's going to work itself out eventually, and things will get better.
So if you're childish enough, so like what I'll do is I'll draw a parallel to what Roman was saying, okay? But I'll change it to me a little bit. So for me, like if you were really, really young and you go through depression, like you don't have any way of combating it, right? Like you don't have the tools to know how to keep going on. But hey, if I could just make it stop, wouldn't I want to make it stop and stuff, right? So it's one of those things where you get stuck in loops mentally, like, and you can see this with Shinji whenever he's going through it, like they're confronting him when they're all in it together, the goop, right? But when they're confronting him, it's like, why did you do this? You're wrong. It's like, confronting him on it and stuff. It's because he's stuck in a mental loop where he's coming up with the same solution over and over again. He can't break out of his fixation on it. And, that's why sometimes you need outside influences to help you on that. Sometimes you have to come up with your own answer and stuff for it. It's never an easy process for somebody, but the younger you are, the worse it is because you're not mature enough to like know what you were saying, Crimson. Like, oh, well, yeah, tomorrow is a different day. It'll be fine. The worst day of my life. I mean, it could always get worse, right? I'm alive now. Let's make the best of it.
It's the Simpsons meme. It's the worst day of your life so far.
So far, right? Yeah.
To answer this really quick. He's not stuck with her. He just decided to fucking murder her.
No, he stopped.
Yeah, he stopped.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and he started crying, and then she's like, "God, you loathsome piece of shit." You know, it's pretty much where she was at.
Yeah. Some people interpret it as her saying, "Shenji, you're so weak, you can't even kill me after everything right now."
Well,
Couldn't bring
actually,
himself
her
to do
final
it.
words are, I think it ends with her saying, "Disgusting."
Yeah, that's
how it ends. Yeah.
Yeah, like she's disgusted. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to interpret that ending.
Yeah, right. Dude, it's just nutty.
pretty much.
Man, this series got me down.
I told you it was Depression Quest, the anime version.
Look, I've read Berserk though, so I was like, you know what? I can handle it. I can fucking handle it. Like Berserk.
Can we do a can we do a waifu tier list now?
I mean, there's only like what four characters to put on the waifu tier list.
There's like 2 more if you go with Rebuild. I think
they haven't seen Rebuild, so we can't count.
Yeah, I know.
They can't count the crazy girl who is like S tier, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The guy that pulls up fucking Uzi with the long hair is a goat.
There is somehow more hope in Berserk than Neon Genesis Event. Well, because
Berserk's all about hope.
Well, yeah, I was about to say Berserk is the entire mindset that I was just saying. Like, I'm going to keep struggling no matter what.
Struggle!
Because that's what I have to do to make it through this. And I am definitely subjecting all of you guys to Berserk next year when we actually have a clean slate.
Yeah.
So we are definitely doing one of these, and you guys are going to be required to watch the original anime. But that's another topic for another time. As far as waifu tier lists, like I said, like there's really no point. We all know Misato is just going to be at the top, and everyone else is just fodder. Mm-hmm. Unless you're me, I like Ritsuko more, but Misato, I'm just going to get outvoted.
Oh yeah. Honestly, a communist vote has more value than yours on this topic.
I mean, like Misato, she might even have to get like above an S tier. Like she's like I would like if she asked me to, I would meow for her. Not even bark, meow. I would meow for her. If she asked me to meow, I would meow. If she was like, cut off all of your limbs and I will let you put in the tip, I would do it. That is the level of waifu that she is to me, bro. Lethal, rock, paper, scissors. If I win, I get Misato.
No, he'll just come to America.
How are you going to do that if you said you're going to cut off your limbs?
Correct.
I was about to say, it's...
What did it cost you? Everything.
Fucking both arms?
Lethal will literally cross the southern border just to come kick your ass over that kind of stuff.
Orale.
He'll have Ivan help him.
No, but do we have any do we have any more serious topics or?
There is some, but it does require the rebuilds.
Yeah, I would imagine that the rebuilds have a lot of context, especially from for me from a writing point. That's one thing that I heavily focus on. I enjoy a lot of what I've said this. I enjoy a lot of what Rebuild has done so far with the first 2 movies. Haven't finished it though, so I don't have a full perspective on it.
I did spoil one thing, so I don't know, well, I think we could cover it a little bit. What do you guys think about the idea of everything just being like a loop or anything like that? Because
I'm of the mind where you can make anything work in fiction. You just have to execute it well. Some series are not good for certain things. Like the idea of loops can be a little bit tricky because they present problems narratively. So I would really have to have a perspective on what Evangelion does with that loop.
Sure.
To really have a good idea of it. It's already introduced it with 1.0, the concept of it. And I don't mind it right now. It just hasn't done anything particularly focused around that loop that's made it even a relevant plot point.
If I remember right, 1.0 does show that the ocean is red and it shows the blood stains on the moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, it also shows Kaoru at the very end of 1.0 basically talking about it. He kind of makes comments like, I'm looking forward to meeting you again, Shinji.
So the Rebuild's a sequel, but it's not.
It's a sequel reboot at the same time.
Yes.
So basically, kind of like, not in the same vein. You guys aren't gonna know what like I'm talking about, but like it's kind of like Kingdom Hearts, where
Bro,
like
I'm like a Kingdom Hearts stan.
I was about to say Lethal would know this.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, no, Lethal. It's kind of exactly like Kingdom Hearts actually. Like
No, I'd say Kingdom Hearts is much more continuous than the Rebuilds.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Is so the Rebuilds, but it's kind of complicated. Like it's a sequel, but it's also a reboot. Like, are they doing the series over while also continuing it? Is that what they're doing?
A little bit.
That's
yeah.
Basically, it
It's
has to. It kind of has to do with that whole loop thing. It's a fact, like to give it like a more definitive explanation. Effectively, it's like a different timeline, but they're connected in some way.
Why did they do that?
Weird way.
Fans, probably. Fans, yeah, because a fan freak out again, and Anna used it. Anna used it as an example of saying "fuck off, leave me alone."
Yeah, because the first one is just the first 6 episodes retold with some additional context. So that's the first of the Rebuild movies, and then it slowly starts branching more and more.
And once you get to like the 3rd movie, it just takes a fucking drastic. Yeah,
I would say, definitely.
And then the 4th movie's a trip.
Yes.
So,
did you guys know that a few years ago, Crunchyroll on YouTube did a video? It's like an hour long, if I remember right. And he goes through every timeline explaining it. And his big conclusion at the end is every timeline is just Kaoru trying to clap Shinji's cheeks.
Oh, no.
Bruh.
Oh.
Shinji definitely has a little gay in him, okay? Like...
Well, bro is literally just like, somebody love me, and someone tells him, hey, I love you. He don't care who it is. All right. Sex.
Is that the story of... Never mind. I'm not going to make a political statement on that. Moving
on. Bro is like...
That's the story of Roman's 3 exceptions.
Fair point.
I'm going to let that slide.
You're going to let that slide? You don't have any power here.
Lethal does not know about my 3 exceptions, and I don't feel like going into it tonight. But so
cue the clip.
I don't have it.
The point is that
is she hot, rich? Is that 2 of them?
No,
we're talking dudes, bro. His 3 exceptions.
Stop.
For the same sex.
Stop. No. Actually, if you want to be technical, there's 4. If you want to be technical,
bro, it doesn't matter. When you say you would fuck Palpatine, there's no coming back from that.
I said if he asked me to sleep with him, I totally would. That was what I said. And then I said Andrew Garfield, and then I said Robert Pattinson, and then a couple years later I said Levi Ackerman.
You just want a taste of unlimited power, don't you?
See, this is the thing. Roman doesn't like Kaji because Kaji gets with Misato. He likes Kaji
That's why I don't like him.
He wants to be Misato so that he can get fucked by Kaji.
Oh shit.
Oh.
I think you struck a nerve. You may be onto something, man. I'm not for sure.
Why Palpatine?
Okay? That's right. He just wants a taste of power, right?
Are we talking pre-fucking wrinkled, fucked up? Or...
Oh no!
Oh no! You know what? I respect how open you. See, that's way cooler than hiding it. Just straight up being like, I want those.
I want that, brother. I want Raisin Palps, bro. I don't even care. I want Raisin Palpatine.
I regret directing us down this fucking tunnel. I made a huge mistake.
Sorry.
Roland, are you alive currently?
He's probably passed out on stream again or something. He hasn't messaged me. He probably lit one up and then just keeled over.
Because he drank a whole beer for sure right there. Yeah. This is a fascinating discussion.
Well, the only thing I'm concerned about is, can I get Ritsuko's tights to wear over my head?
Oh, I'm sure we can.
How much would that cost? Do you think if she was like selling it? How
It's
much
like that gamer girl bathwater kind of stuff at this point.
Okay, no. Listen to me, bro. Misato sells her panties. I'm selling everything that I own. Okay.
Only if she's paid in them.
Just for
you drive a hard bargain.
Especially, I will sell everything that I have, including all of my organs. Okay.
Bro's about to become the death devil.
He's gonna expire himself. Fucking,
the last thing that I do is
expire himself. That's a hell of a term. That's a fucking wild term. I'm using that one.
Expire. That is a very creative.
I gotta use that on Roller Roam.
See,
I gotta use that on Roller Roam.
My personal go-to is neck rope yourself. So in Minecraft,
damn.
Neck rope or forever box.
Forever box.
What? That's a technical term. That's like it's what the guy that was on Kung Fu he did to himself and he died.
Oh yeah. He was in the Hulk movie.
Yeah, where he's and then you got both of your hands occupied, Roman. Okay, I'm not going to explain it to you. It's okay. Just look it up online.
Okay.
Be careful.
Yes.
Well, hello there, Arceus. Nice to see you. And I think we're kind of like winding down. We've kind of hit a lot of the things that we've already.
Do you guys hear snoring? I thought I heard snoring.
I don't.
I don't know. Readout saying that you can see him crash in the rewind.
Oh God.
See, about 10 minutes ago, he just fucking disappears and he hasn't been back since.
When Letha, when was the first time that you ever watched Neon Genesis? Because I'd have to say like mid 2000s for me.
Oh, much later for me. 2018, roughly.
See, I didn't even know about the end of Evangelion film at the time. Like, because I was very young. Yeah, I was like a teenager at the time, and we didn't have access to things the way we do now. So, yeah, like I think I watched most of it at least one time then, and then maybe when like 2012 or so, like right around there when Netflix started bringing on a lot of anime, that's probably when I watched it again. And then, like 2 or 3 times recently, actually, too, in the last 5 or 10 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say around 2018.
Hey,
because I remember when I moved in here was when it was getting close to the release of the last movie, and then it got delayed. When there was that big delay. So, yeah, roughly around then. I've actually got the Avas up there. That's 3 separate posters. They all go together to make one picture.
Like that's really cool.
Yeah,
that's actually really cool.
Got the Osaka I showed before. Got my Masato. My mouse pad is actually like one of those bigger mouse pads, and it's Osaka and Ava 2.
I kind of want to get some like Evangelion stuff for my collection, because this is like, I know a lot of you guys talked about like where it ranked for you. For me, I don't know if I would put this in my top 10, but it is up there with one of the better anime that I've watched out of all of this. I think I would probably give it like a 9 out of 10, like a high.
Well,
9
I haven't seen as many anime as y'all have. So when I said like top 3 earlier, see, my thing is Naruto will always and forever be my number 1, and then Dragon Ball and Attack on Titan are kind of interchangeable. Like you can go back and forth on it, but I'm kind of deciding right now whether I put Evangelion over Cowboy Bebop. I'm not really sure because I love Cowboy Bebop, but Evangelion's badass. So for
I
me,
think I
this
like
might actually,
Cowboy Bebop because it's less depressing, even though the end is kind of similar.
yeah.
Cowboy Bebop just overall isn't as depressing.
I think I put this at
Whatever
number 4,
happens,
though.
happens.
I think I put this though at number 4. This is my 4th favorite anime so far. So
Really quick, because Rolando has given me $2. It's all mine. I'm a capitalist. Fuck you. It's my money. Where's the clip? Here we go. And he says, $2, I'd blast something into Ritsuko's stomach.
Jesus Christ.
Probably a dojin out there for that.
There's
Thank you for the donation.
I won't elaborate, but Evangelion's infamous on that shit.
But yeah, as far as this show goes, like I understand the hype behind it now that I've watched it. Like just overall, like production value, it's a very interesting show. A lot of the characters, whether you like, I didn't mean to bring that up, whether you like it or not, like the story, I feel like, that's wrong. I confused myself because I have a bunch of thoughts going through my head. Restart. Production value is really good. I really like the soundtrack and everything. I mean, the intro and outro are good, even though like that song at the very end of Evangelion does inspire rage because it reminds me of how this series goes. I still think the song is catchy. It's still like an entertaining song in and of itself. And like just generally like the cast, whether you like the characters or not, you can't argue that they're not well written. Like they're complicated. There's a lot of ways to approach them. There are a lot of different aspects to them that you can like look at and analyze and draw things out of. And I generally find that kind of thing because I'm the person who engages with things that are, art for like human expression. I engage with those things a lot more. And that's probably why I enjoyed this show so very much, in spite of the fact that it was terribly depressing as an anime.
Yeah. I kind of, like I've said on every single one of these fictionologies before I started doing them, I had really only seen like Naruto, Dragon Ball, and parts of Attack on Titan. So I've really had a wonderful experience getting to experience Star Blazers, Cowboy Bebop. I've gotten to see Evangelion now. So I think that there's definitely something beautiful about this and and I see
he's conked out like on the full screen on the square down here. He's still in there. He is conked out.
I can see why like people like love this show, and this was, like I said, like my first like mecha anime. And now that there's like now that I've seen it, I am glad that I've seen it, and I cannot wait to watch more because I'm like a superhero guy, like a science fiction guy, but I loved Naruto and Dragon Ball. Now I'm loving more and more anime, and I'm so glad that I'm loving more and more anime, and I really think it's cool. And so,
well, don't worry, we're gonna bully you into some really good stuff these next couple of months, dude.
I also have one more thing on that. So, like, since we're talking about it, for me, the original big three before Shonen, okay, we're talking like the ones that I felt influenced on the adult end, okay, would probably be Evangelion. Probably, it would probably end up being Akira, and then probably the other one would be, oh my God, Ghost in the Shell. I would say those are the three that had like a super huge impact on American media and were for like a more adult audience overall, I would say. So like, and I'm curious as to hearing his impressions on those. in the coming years and stuff, like, because I think those are definitely ones that he needs to visit as well in that sci-fi realm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get to all sorts of stuff. I have some old ones that I want to go through. Some ones that like I particularly want these guys to see because I'm curious to see how they react to it, and we'll get into that. But I mean, is there like anything else major we want to talk about tonight?
I just want to say really fast that I've said this like every time, but this might be like one of my favorite anime intros out of like any of the ones that like I've seen so far. Every time that we watched it for the watch party, we would all just be like dancing to the intro. It's just a very catchy theme, and so I actually really dig it, and I love the soundtrack. It's cool. So
All time.
Overall, really good. The reason I asked if anyone else has any major topics because I've kind of covered a lot of the stuff that I wanted to talk about, and if there's anything else that anyone like really wants to get into for tonight, we'll go into that. Otherwise, I think we can start to down that.
I think it's your mic that's bugged.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, your mic is bugging out a little bit, bud.
My mic?
You sound better now. You sound like you're underwater just before.
I don't know what it is. I guess my PC just hates me at times.
StreamYards as well.
That probably does it. Yeah. Either way, no other like big points to get to.
No.
Not that I can think of. I'm sure I will later though. But Muffler brought up a really good point. I would also consider this as one of the big ones that influenced a lot going forward. Like even to this day, I see some Evangelion references in that. Yeah, so it is quite the pretty important piece of media, regardless of how you feel about it.
So would we say in order to get your Weeb card, this would be one you would have to watch?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Agreed.
Am I considered a weeb now, or do I have to watch more?
I mean, you're more like a Padawan on your way to becoming a Jedi Master. Okay, that would be my impression on that because you've gotten a few really good ones under your belt, but there's still a lot out
I'm
there.
not. You guys can't call me a tourist though.
No, I wouldn't have called you a tourist to begin with because you actually like watch these and take it seriously. You're not out here talking about everything needs to be changed. You shouldn't sexualize this. You shouldn't do fan service. This is racist. And you're not nagging about stuff. You're actually going in and having legitimate like literary or like thematic critiques of stuff.
Do you know what I think might actually be a good one for Roman? Kill the Kill. That's another pretty important one.
Yeah, that actually is a very important one, and that may be one we end up doing a Fictionology on because I haven't even watched that myself.
Oh shit!
I've only watched a few episodes, so I'm kind of in the same boat. Yep, Trigger is great as a studio, and that was an influential one.
What the fuck do you mean by this? Them's fighting words. Them's fucking fighting words. Is it because I've critiqued ecchi anime at times?
Because there's a bit of a history behind Kill the Kill and how it was created and why it was created as well. With just Ivan put me onto there's a few videos out on YouTube about it where they're talking about just how the state of anime was at the time, and they're like, it's kind of fucking shit, and it's all just gone down the toilet. And then along comes Kill the Kill, which brought back cool characters, cool fight scenes, and it went a bit over the top on fan service on purpose just to try to say, get the fuck out of here. We're back, baby.
Well, I think one of the big things was they were kind of falling in the same pit trap that a lot of like anime is now, where it was all like adaptation. If I'm not mistaken, Kill the Kill is straight up an anime original, kind of like Evangelion. Yeah. That was one of the big things that did, like, it actually showed that, studios themselves can still be creative and do good stuff. And that's Trigger, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, like, there are a lot of ways in which Kill la Kill was pretty revolutionary. And this is coming from someone who only really has, like, a preliminary look at it. So it may be interesting to go over that one at some point. Either way, if that's everything that everyone has to say, I am going to close this out because I know this guy doesn't have anything to say for us. Can see
he's leaning to the left a little bit there. I don't know, man, or the right, depends on how you.
This is pass out counter number what, 3?
Or 4? What, he's got a habit of this?
He's passed out on streams before, yes.
We're on. If you also count Patreon, this is number 6.
Oh,
we've got you once too, Roman. But yeah, that's good.
Yeah, yeah, but you don't have me snore.
No, that you were courteous enough to mute yourself, so you're chill.
Did he just freeze for everyone else?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that said, I'm pretty much gonna, wrap it here. I don't think we have any bigger, deeper discussion topics to hit. So, thank you everyone who tuned in. I do really appreciate it, especially thanks to guests who came to, talk about this. Rolo, he's not here to hear this. Muffler Tape, Roman, you guys are all, pretty regular at this, but particularly Lethal. Thanks for the time. I really appreciate it. This was really fun. And I would totally be down to have you back on some of the other ones because we will be doing Chainsaw Man in the coming months here. But speaking of upcoming anime that we're going to be doing on Fictionology, next month for September, just so everyone understands the plan, is Dandadan. So we'll be going over Dandadan the first 2 seasons. If you can, I would recommend on catching up on the manga so that we will be able to go over some of that stuff. Because there's some pretty wild stuff that has happened that is really worth discussing in the manga.
Yep.
October will be Chainsaw Man. Particularly because we want the movie to come out. We want to be able to, watch that. If you can get into the manga, I would recommend it because there again is something that would be really cool to be able to talk deeper about the series. After that, November is Sword Art Online, first 2 seasons. So we'll be talking about that in November. I'm really glad that September is going to be Dandadan because I've already been watching it and I don't have to binge all of this to catch up on it.
Maybe get a head start on SAO then.
I probably could. SAO and Chainsaw. I should probably rewatch Chainsaw Man because, oh shit, I actually have the Blu-rays. I have a reason to watch them now, other than just watching Chainsaw Man.
Is season 2 of Sword Art Online, is that the one where he's a girl in the gun game?
He has long hair in the gun game, but yeah. It's interpret. You can say that. You can say that. Okay.
I actually thought that of all the Sword Art Online, everyone fucking hated that, but I thought that one was one of the better parts.
Gun Gale was one of the best.
Gun Gale.
Yeah.
So to wrap up the Fictionology plans, December. Jury's still kind of out. I'm trying to figure out whether I even want to do one for December or just let everyone have the month off and enjoy, the holidays with family and everything and not have to stress about it.
No, but you're going to get all seasons of Pokemon to catch up on.
We're going full worker exploitation for this one then?
Yeah.
We got to do Pokemon at some point. We have to do Pokemon.
There's so much, man.
Look, I'm instating a rule on this. Where anything that is just One Piece is definitely out, unfortunately for everyone. I cannot subject someone who hasn't watched One Piece to trying to binge One Piece for this show. I can't justify that. That's I don't know. That's prison labor kind of sentencing.
I would die if I wanted to do it for Patreon. I would literally die.
December may just be a bring your favorite Ghibli movie, and we'll talk about Ghibli movies.
Good pick.
Either way, we'll get through that, and also to talk about this really quick because Gronking Gaming has gifted 5 Crimson Law memberships. We do appreciate that. I always like money because I am a capitalist. And those went to Vincent, the White Tiger 597, DeAndre. That's a new one. J-Rod, Super Spy, The Gray Pilgrim, more like The Gay Pilgrim, and Hazelnut. Really appreciate that. It means a lot when people are willing to, donate and everything. Because I mean, all I do is sit here and be autistic about anime. So that said, I guess if you aren't subscribed, please do. I'm trying to get to 1,000. I'm really fucking close. Okay, I'm really fucking close to that 1,000. Roman, do you have anything you want to shill?
Just I try to put out videos on my main channel maybe like once or twice a week, and my brother and I are currently gaming through Kingdom Hearts 3, and I've been posting that a couple times a week, and we also stream the Roller Roamcast podcast every Friday over on the Roller Roamcast channel. So you can go over there, and hopefully we'll see you all on Friday, and hopefully Roland does not fall asleep for time number 7. So thank you, and Crimson, thank you for having me, and that's all that I gotta say.
Lethal, you're the next person I know who has stuff to shill, so if you want to go ahead and plug your stuff here.
Sure, but first of all, thanks for the invite. I appreciate it. This is a lot of fun. I'd like to come back sometime, and especially if
hell yeah, dude, I'm totally down to have you around for more of these.
Yeah, wait till we get to Berserk.
I am so subjecting these guys to Berserk next year. Maybe I shouldn't have gone with the alcohol. That was probably a bad idea. Anyway, go ahead.
But no, seriously, thank you. I mostly focus on video game type content as well, reviews, all that type of shit, deep dive essays.
He does very good reviews.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
We very recently put out the review for Stellar Blade, the PC port. Had a lot to say. We did have our Claire Obscure review, but there's been a bit of a situation there where it's going to be delayed for a while. But that video is going to be over an hour long, so you'll like that as well. We're also working on a documentary, which we're hoping to have out in a few months. And over on Gronkin Gaming, that's our gaming pod, where every Australian, Monday to Friday mornings, we're live there. There's a few of us. We have a bit of a rotation, and we go over everything that's going on in the industry and have some pretty fucking autistic arguments. It's a good time. It's a good time. If you enjoy that, come down. We'd love to have you there. And yeah, we get people involved with all types of crazy shit. So thank you very much for having me again.
Muffler Tape, is there anything you want to say before we go, or?
I'm still working on that Tuesday program that I plan on running eventually, but I got to figure out kind of how I want to stream it and stuff. But yeah, outside of that, I'm just happy to be back again. I'm glad that you finally chose Evangelion. We were able to talk about it. Lethal, it's been great having you here too. I like people that have had a history with it coming in and talking as well. And Roman, thank you for having me on your streams. We had a good time. Sure. And looking forward to more. I mean, hey, man, we got Dawn to Dawn coming up, so I'll be watching that with you guys, hopefully, if everything goes good. And hope everybody has a good week. Yeah, happy early Labor Day.
Oh yeah, I get a long weekend now after working 10-hour days out in the sun on a lakeside deck. Great working construction, for a living. That said, though, again, thank you so much to everyone who watches me. It really does mean the world that a lot of people show up for these and engage with these and will listen to these talks. And I hope that whether you have or haven't seen these shows, you still enjoy the content, because I enjoy using this as an excuse to watch a lot of anime that I have not watched, because my life is basically consumed with seasonals at this point. That said, we're going to play us out with my favorite outro clip of a goth magic girl screaming fuck.
Hibana-chan.